It is a lovely Saturday afternoon in the fall. We are here at Elliott Field. It has been a long time coming, but it is so good to be back for Fitchburg State University football here on FATV. I am John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak. And Dan, the Falcons may not always have the best team, but it feels the best thing in the world right now to be back here at Elliott Field calling Falcon football.
And what a tremendous day for football as well here on College Football Saturday. It's Fitchburg State University and Castleton University, the first time we've had football here at Elliott Field since November of 2019.
Almost 2 full years have gone by. Folks at home, I imagine you know why, so we won't dwell on it. But it is so good. There is a big crowd on hand. A lot of folks have made the trip down from Vermont for this game. A lot of Fitchburg fans as well. Still good seats available, so if you're in Fitchburg, by all means, come on down to Elliott Field and enjoy the action. But if not, if your couch is a little more comfortable, we understand. That's why we're here. Thank you so much for being here on, Dan, as you said, College Football Saturday.
And so going in and talking about the teams, Fitchburg State 0-1 to start the campaign. They were at Dean last Saturday, lost that game 42-6, but really it was the Arrow show for the Dean Bulldogs. 8 catches for 247 yards and 5 touchdowns and a 4-yard run for a 6th touchdown. He was on the D3 football team of the week, and just an absolute game breaker taking over for Dean in that one. Fitchburg not an answer to come with that for the Falcons offensively. Joe Haskins, his first game truly as a quarterback since high school, since his time at North Middlesex. Struggled a little bit, 1 for 10, 4 yards, 1 interception, 9 carries for 8 yards. Did all right on the punting game, 33.3 yards on his 6 kicks. Frank Sims, though, 21 carries for 101 yards. He's sort of filling that role that Stephen Lawton had a couple of years ago as the cannonball running back. And even though he's listed as a tight end, he can take the rock and he can run with it, and he's shown that. And meanwhile, the Falcons, they do have a kicker, Matt Kimball.
Always a luxury.
Transfer from Becker College. Matt Kimball was a sort of do-everything guy at Becker. He was a wide receiver. He did some running back. He was a quarterback as well in Becker's last season. And now with Becker having gone bust, Kimball has come to Fitchburg State for his last year. He's a graduate student, and he showed off his leg. Made field goals from 21 and from 38. It's been a long time since a Falcon hit a field goal from 38 yards out.
You know, we were talking about it a little bit last night at St. Bernard's. Again, of course, this is the 3rd game of our kickoff trifecta. 3rd game in 3 days, 4th live event in 3 days for the FATV crew. But we were talking last night about how, you know, a lot of teams at that level of high school play don't have great reliable kicking. That's the case as well up in the D3 college game. Just having a guy who you can trust from 35 or 40 yards out, a lot of teams don't have that. The Falcons haven't had that many of the last few years, but they have it this year.
Indeed they do, and for Castleton, they're coming off a pretty impressive win, I would say. They took down Plymouth State, who's a MASCAC rival, 13-0. It was a low-scoring contest. Jacob McCarthy, 15 for 26, 141 yards. Devin Walner, 9 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown. Simon Davis Jr. had 12 carries for 27 yards. And also they had Noah Crossman hit 2 field goals as well. And so Castleton, they're coming in with a bit of momentum, a big win for them, taking down Plymouth State, who have stymied them in the past. And now I think we'll duck out for the rest here.
Captains are at midfield for the coin toss. Captains for Fitchburg State are Joe Haskins, Joel Montero, and Makandu Ashima. And we will indeed step aside for some words from Dr. Robert Hines on the significance of this day, and then our national anthem. And of course, we will hear the result of the coin toss as well. It is College Football Saturday, Fitchburg State football here on FATV.
Fitchburg State has won the coin toss and elected to defer. Falcons to defend the north end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand if you are able. 20 years ago today, our nation sustained the deadliest terrorist attack in history, resulting in the loss of nearly 3,000 American lives, with countless others impacted forever. We pause to mourn those lost and to honor the heroes of September 11th, 2001, and ask that you observe a moment of silence. Now, please remain standing if you are able as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Fitchburg State University football live here from Elliott Field on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined of course by Dan Bolak, but there is a third member of our broadcast team as well. Let's send it down to the sidelines and Tim Foley. Tim, how are you doing today?
Doing well today, John. Thanks so much for having me on today. One of the big things that I got from my pregame conversation with defensive coordinator Sam Casey is that the team's feeling optimistic of today's game after last week's loss against the Dean Bulldogs. They feel a lot of the mistakes were little things, some adjustments that they'll be able to make within the next week, that they're ready to come out here today and put together a more complete performance against Castleton.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim. A little bit of technical troubles there. We apologize for that, but we'll hear more from Tim as the day goes on. So good to have him with us down on the sidelines, on the far side end zone. Dan, as we get ready for this game real quick, I can't get over it. It feels so good to be back. It just feels so good to be back.
Yep, it's been such a long time, and of course, this is my alma mater, this is your alma mater. This is what we've been sitting here waiting for so long, to be able to call Fitchburg State Falcon football. No matter the performance of the team, we're always amped up and ready to call this team and their games, and we're glad to see them back on the field.
We always feel the thunder. You may feel the thunder a little bit more than usual today, as we are directly beneath the speakers here at Elliott Field. Falcons ready to kick off in their gold jerseys, green pants. Castleton will receive in the all-white with green helmets. Here with the play-by-play for the first quarter is Dan Bolak.
And Matt Kimball will have the kickoff for the Falcons. They'll be going from right to left in this first quarter. Castleton going from left to right. Two men back to receive the kick for the Spartans. Matthew Hestford is one on the far side. He'll be taken in at the near side by the 11-yard line by Simon Davis Jr. Fumbled it a little bit, picks it back up, making his way downfield on the near side, and knocked out of bounds just past the 40-yard line.
Incredible second effort there by Simon Davis Jr. Got across the 40 before he was finally knocked out of bounds. They'll spot it at about the 41-yard line.
It sounds like it was Matt Kimball who ultimately had to make the tackle there for the Falcons. And so now we're going to see the Castleton offense on the field for the first time today. Their one touchdown came late in the game against Plymouth State. But we can see what they can do here on first down. So McCarthy in the backfield on first down. The handoff goes to Davis Jr., goes up the middle, wrapped up by Montero. Ball pops out, it's picked up by Castleton. And making his way down the far side of the field are the Spartans. And they're going to make it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Chance V.
My goodness, Dan. One play, one incredible stroke of luck for Castleton. I can't believe that was a designed toss. Ball just popped out. Chance V picked it up, took it all the way down.
Although he stepped out of bounds on the way, I thought he had it all the way.
We'll take a look at it again. It's a good initial run by Davis right here. He finally runs into the Fitchburg line. The ball just comes out. Fee's right there waiting for it. Couldn't get luckier if you're Chance Fee. He takes it all the way downfield deep into Falcon territory.
Now on a new set of downs for the Spartans. No score yet. He thought he'd made it all the way, steps out, but ultimately on first down, it's taken by Lucas Morse, graduate student, a running back going to the right side of the field for some yards. He'll get 5.
Just follows his right tackle there, finally hits the hole. Not as fancy or explosive as the first play, but hey, 5 yards on first down is a great gain for Castleton.
So Morse will remain in the backfield. Also got a tight end lined up there, and Alex Martellio, sort of serving as a fullback, I should say. And now this is Morse out to the left side, found some room to work with. And he'll make his way inside the 15-yard line.
Good open field tackling there for the Falcons. It was Gary Spears who was the last man to beat. Morse cuts out to the left side here, gets a great block from the receiver who was lined up on the left side there. But there was just one man to beat. Spears made the touchdown saving tackle, but it's still a first down for the Spartans.
Castleton really moving the rock here on first down. So Spam at the 12-yard line. As McCarthy looks to throw right side, that's going to be incomplete, thrown on the ground, far too short for Martellio.
First time we've seen Castleton go to the air today. They've had so much success on the ground, you almost wonder why they would mix it up. But, you've got to keep the Falcon defense honest. You can't let them totally commit to that run. So they go shotgun and throw the ball here. Ball falls incomplete.
Brings up 2nd and 10, 12:56 to go, first quarter, no score. Castleton really threatening on this drive, already in the red zone. It's the handoff on the left side. And wrapped up and wrestled to the ground is Devin Walner. Castleton has 2 number 25s.
No gain on the play.
As Walner, the junior running back, is the one who takes that one. And Castleton had more than half a dozen players take the ball on runs against Plymouth State, so it's not unusual to see them rotating through their personnel.
Andrew and Luke Saint combining for the Fitchburg State tackle. 3rd and 11.
It's always nice when you've got, less than 100 guys on the team and they can't decide, everybody gets a different number. You'd think that would be basic.
Brings up a 3rd and 11. Now for the Spartans. Receiver spread out towards the sidelines, throw to the left side, coming back in, and making the catch at the touchdown!
I thought that ball was terribly underthrown, but he came back to it and made the reception for the touchdown.
So we'll see the replay.
McCarthy to McIntosh.
It's Sajon McIntosh who was able to pull that one in. Just drifting back, leaning to his left, able to pull that one in. And it takes less than 3 minutes for the Spartans to find the scoreboard here at Elliott Field. Noah Crossman, who hit his extra point, made 2 field goals. We'll punch that one right through the uprights. So 12:03 to go, first quarter. Spartans on their first possession of the game find 7.
We'll take another look at the touchdown catch here. Just enough protection there for McCarthy to get the ball away. I thought it was underthrown, but it was thrown such that only the receiver was there. He was the only guy who could make that catch, and he did. It's a fantastic catch.
Profanity, racial or
right as the ball is coming in, just barely above it hitting the turf.
Athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated.
So a tremendous reception there for Sejon McIntosh, the junior wide receiver. And he gets his side on the board. So, while we have a moment, we'd like to thank our underwriters who make all these broadcasts possible here on FATV: Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and North End Subaru.
Thanks to them as always. A lot of thanks to the underwriters this weekend, but you know what? They've provided the underwriting. They are a big part of the reason why we're able to do so many broadcasts here for the city of Fitchburg, and we do enjoy doing it.
Taken in by Ben Palizet on the far side. Transfer from Grove City. Is able to get it past the 25-yard line.
Ben Palizet.
He had a return for about 50 yards last week against Dean, which I think scared the Bulldogs so much that they kicked off short the rest of the game to keep the ball away from him.
That would be a good thing to do. You get burned once, you don't want to touch the stove again, right? Folks, we want to let you know that in addition to our live streams on the internet, you can now watch FATV programming in stunning high definition on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV, or through our free apps in the Android and Apple stores. Download the app today, or to learn more on how to watch FATV programming, go to fatv.org/watch-FATV. That's fatv.org/watch-FATV.
On first down, it will be Haskins, who will give the ball off to Frank Sims, trying to go through the line. He'll get himself a couple of yards there across the 30-yard line.
Not too often you see a fullback as your lead rusher, but Sims had over 100 yards of rushing last time out for the Falcons in their season opening defeat. We'll probably see a lot of him today in the home opener.
Second and 7.
And you see they have two tight ends essentially, but one almost always goes in motion. Not this time. Just be a quick handoff if they could get the handoff. Oh my goodness, Castleton had that read immediately. Sims gets the ball and he's immediately wrapped up by multiple Spartans.
There weren't quite 300 of them, but there were quite a number of Spartans just breaking through the offensive line. There was absolutely nothing Sims could do after he took that handoff. It'll be.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say it'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Falcons. Probably exactly what you were going to say.
Yeah. I was also going to point out that Sims ended up losing the yards that he gained on first. 10:45 to go first quarter, 7-0 Spartans. As we mentioned, the Falcons struggled through the air, combined 1 for 11. What have we here?
A delay of game is called against the Falcons.
Delay of game indicated against the Falcons.
Makes a hard task even more difficult. 15 to gain. Haskins under center. We see the man in motion this time as it's thrown out to the far side, looking for Tim O'Neill, his former North Middlesex Patriot teammate, but badly overthrown, and it's a 3-and-out.
O'Neill was the closest target, but that was really nowhere near him. It's a difficult situation for Haskins, especially, when you're taking the snap from the center and dropping back, trying to pick up 15 yards on 3rd down. Falcon offense will go 3-and-out on their first possession here at Elliott.
Haskins will remain in the contest as he is the team's punter as well. And it's a low snap. Haskins taking a couple steps. He does that rollout rugby-style punt. Taken in at the 45-yard line by the Spartans, and immediately wrapped up was Jared Brockway.
Mike Brown was right there as soon as Brockway brought in that punt. No return at all to speak of, but still, after Fitchburg State was backed up so far, Castleton will take it over at their own 43-yard line.
10:22 to go in the first quarter. And Castleton with that first strike.
probably see more of that ground attack from Castleton. They do have Morse in the backfield. McCarthy goes from the shotgun.
Throws to the right side, that's going to be complete. And taken in by Brockway, and look at him churning his feet, getting extra yards. Tackled just short of the sideline. But it's a significant gain into Falcon territory from 143 to the other.
So one play, and Castleton is already back in Fitchburg State's territory. Dan, the Falcons, I mean, it's very early going. We're only 5 minutes into this game, but they have just been absolutely dominated on both sides of the ball so far.
It's not the start that they were looking for, that's for certain, as on another 1st and 10. McCarthy throwing to the right side in and out of the hands of Anthony Martinez.
First real defensive break of the day for Fitchburg State, and it gets handed to them by Castleton. Martinez was there, had a step on his defender, but the ball just went right through his hands.
Jacob McCarthy, he's a senior quarterback, 5'10", 180 pounds. When these two teams played here at Elliott Field 2 years ago, he was the starting quarterback then as well. A lot of the same personnel that Castleton had back in 2019, 78 returning players for 2019. Now, up the middle, trying to churn his feet, get a couple more yards there, was Devin Walner.
We talked about the 78 returning players for Castleton, only 12 for the Falcons. A lot of new names in the 2 years since the last time Fitchburg State took the field. It's basically a brand new football team almost.
Building a new team from the ground up can be a challenge, and it can take some time for the players to get acclimated. Two in the backfield to either side of McCarthy and Matthew Hestford, who moves a little bit to his left now. And McCarthy looks on that left side, and that is going to be incomplete. He was looking for Hestford.
Second time today that McCarthy has delivered a pass right where it needs to be, and the receiver hasn't been able to bring it in. And because of those two drops on this series, Castleton faces 4th down, and they're going to bring in the punting unit.
From the 42-yard line, it's pretty close to 4-down territory, but you're sort of in that maroon zone where you don't really know. So Mike Morgan, he's another one of those returners who was here a couple of years ago. He's going to try to pin the Falcons deep here. Elijah Zaire McKnight looking around at that football. He's going to let it go out of bounds.
It's a very good kick. First and 10 for the Falcons at their own 12-yard line. Not quite the ultimate coffin corner, but whenever you're a punter, you get the ball out of bounds inside the red zone, you will take that every day of the week. Now Fitchburg State's offense takes back over. They went 3 and out on their first possession, Dan. They need to get, at least 1 or 2 first downs here to keep their defense off the field and to not pin them deep with bad field position on the next time Castleton takes over.
Indeed, with 8:53 to go in the first quarter, 7-0 Spartans. You see McKnight in motion in the backfield. Throw to the near side is complete to Jordan Dickerson. That'll be his first collegiate catch. He steps out of bounds, but gets some yards on that one.
Now, Dan, when the Falcons had their media day earlier this season, before play started, all the players got together, say their names, how to pronounce it, tell us what your nickname is, right? And a lot of it makes sense. There's X, there's a guy named J Fig, somebody wants to be known as Pluto. I'm not sure about J Jettas 2.0 though.
That is the nickname that he says the people call him. Those were his words as Frank Sims, trying to go up the middle, loses the football as he tries to stretch it out, but he was already well down.
Now, I don't want to, it's entirely possible, it's even likely. Jordan Dickerson is just J Jettas 2.0, that's fine. But there's a little thing in the back of my mind that says, maybe after watching 70 other teammates say their names and give their nicknames, he just came up with something to mess with us on the spot. It's possible.
I mean, I have a response to that, but I don't want to make you look bad.
Oh. Was he like the first one and you just edited them all together?
Yeah, they did not go in numerical order.
How dare they?
So he was probably one of the first 10 or 15.
Just let me have my joke, darn it.
But it had to stay in because it was just such a name. As on 3rd down, it's Haskins trying to sneak it for about a yard, and it's going to be pretty close.
The officials stopped the clock. I think, yeah, they are going to move the chains. Haskins picked up about 1.5 yards, but hey, when you only need 1 yard, picking up 1.5 yards is fine. So that's the first down here at Elliott Field for the Falcons. It's a big gust of wind comes through. I think we've weighted down everything we have here.
Gonna have lots and lots of paperweights. As we should also mention, we are not in the press box today.
That is true. Press box, very cramped conditions, would have had to mask up. We decided it was a little bit better to stick on the outside, get you a little bit better audio quality.
Haskins throws near side complete to Dickerson. He'll be down around the 38-yard line.
Pass is complete. Jordan Dickerson with the reception.
It's going to be good enough for another first.
That time the Falcons sent Elijah Zaire McKnight, easy for me to say, in motion in the backfield. I think we might see them hand it off to him on a sweep later on, but right now they faked it, went through the air for the first down.
That's a pretty common move, and it's a quick handoff there for Sims. But once again, they're having trouble finding gaps. That Castleton D-line has been very solid, and Chris Rice is a big part of that for the Spartans as well, the defending ECFC Player of the Year.
A lot of big...
And I was going to say, and this is the third time he's been to Elliott Field. That's very rare in college football.
Particularly for, obviously because, the schedule had to swap around for it. Now we get a lot of motion, and finally the officials come in and kill the play. I think Castleton jumped, but... Well, they definitely jumped. The question is, were they influenced to do so? It is encroachment against Castleton. Yeah, you see there, they were just trying to jump the snap. They jumped, and that caused the Falcon offensive line to flinch. So blow the whistles, kill the play. It's 5 free yards for Fitchburg State.
I saw it happen a couple of times in the Dean game where a defense would jump off, get back, and no whistles, mainly because they felt it didn't get past the line of scrimmage. Elijah Zaire McKnight taking it on the end around to the far side, and he does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Ran a lot of yards to lose one in the end.
Awful lot of running there, not much positive gain though. And we've mentioned already this is a basically brand new football team for Fitchburg State. That includes, new coach, new playbook, new formations. Falcons really like this 2 tight end single back set.
It's Kimball who moves in motion from the right side. That pass is tipped up and nearly intercepted. Jacob Griggs had his hands on it, but he just could not haul it in.
From our position on the left side of the near side, which for those who know Elliott Field, we are deep in the heart of the Castleton fan section. The crowd went wild, and then immediately you could just hear the "oh" as that ball went right through Griggs' hands. You'll see right there, it's a gift. It had touchdown written all over it, and you can see the frustration. He knew he had a big return, maybe even a touchdown. Instead, it's 4th down.
Now Haskins with the rollout punt. It's a line drive and tipped up in the air there. It'll stop the progress there. Bit risky there from Christopher Carroll.
Just a little bit risky for Carroll. I mean, it's a low line drive punt. Carroll's almost like, he looks at it like a DB going for an interception. He tries to break off, jump up, make the catch, and then start the return going. But that play only works if you actually catch the ball. Once that hits the turf, it's live. Castleton lucky to fall on it after Carroll knocked it down. Now, Dan, one of these days, we are going to see the Falcons come out in punting formation with their starting quarterback as the punter and just throw the ball. That's going to happen. That has to happen, right?
I feel like that's one of those things that should happen. This is Davis Jr. on 1st down. Who plunged past the 40-yard line down at the 41. What's interesting was going through my research, looking at the teams that are bringing back quarterbacks basically in the MASCAC, and I was surprised how many different teams did that last year, have their starting quarterback also double as their punter.
Hey, it's, especially at D3, especially in the MASCAC, any level of versatility, if a guy is athletic enough to play quarterback, he probably does have a decent kicking leg.
Free play it's going to be, as there was a player who jumped, and now they'll blow the whistle as Justin Stanford was able to get there and knock down the quarterback. But of course, there are reasons why he was able to get
part
there.
of the reason he was able to get there is because he had a 2-yard head start on everybody else, and you can't do that. It's against the rules. They have, codes and laws and ethics, and you starting to play in the opposing team's backfield, no, it's frowned upon. See here. Actually, a little bit of a flinch right at the top there, and I think that was why they ultimately blew the play dead. But the Falcons had already started coming, and I think they were already across the neutral zone by the time the split end up at the top there started moving. It's very close. You can see there on the replay. Call could have gone either way. It goes against Fitchburg State.
Brings up a second and very short. As the throw to the right side is complete to Brockway. Jacob to Jacob, or Jacob to Jared. I feel like those names read the same in my head. They're clearly not, though.
That's fine. They're just J&J security, that's all.
But Brockway hauling that ball in will get a first down for the Spartans with 4:10 to go in the first quarter of play. 7-0 to the visitors. Castleton with 2 receivers in this formation. Davis Jr. in the backfield. McCarthy gonna go long downfield, very long downfield. A diving attempt, it's just too far downfield. Chance Fee could not pull that one in.
First time they've actually gone in the direction of Chance Fee intentionally today. Of course, he did have that big punt, that fumble return on the touchdown drive. Fee was the only guy who had a chance on it. He had beaten John Cesare, but the ball just a little bit overthrown. Spartans took a shot downfield there, 1st and 10. Didn't work out for them. Now they face second.
Switch up the backfield. Get Devin Walner back into the contest. Try to go to the right side. Not going to find any success at all. A flock of Falcons. 4 different ones able to get in on that.
Saw Justin Stanford and Logan Perez. I think it was Stanford who made the first hit. Bounced off of Stanford and went right into 3 or 4 more Falcons.
Now 3rd down, 11 to go for the Spartans. 1 for 2 on 3rd down today. Wallner to the right of McCarthy. Briefly fakes the handoff. Stanford in pursuit. Can't tackle him. Floated up there, and Brockway's able to take it in. Go down the far side. Cuts back in towards the 10, keeping his feet moving. And into the red zone. Go Castleton.
That play looked like it was on the verge of falling apart for Castleton. McCarthy was just able to keep it alive long enough for Brockway to break free. He delivers a beautifully thrown, floated in ball, as you can see there. And then once the catch is made, it is all Jared Brockway in the open field, dancing through tacklers. You can see why he's the primary punt returner based on his behavior after the catch there.
Now over 50 yards through the air for the quarterback for Castleton. Into the red zone they go on 1st down. This is Morse on the left side. Get a good chunk of yardage inside the 10.
Castleton, they've sputtered a little bit. They've had some incomplete passes here. A couple of dropped balls led to a punt on their last possession. But by and large, Dan, the Falcon defense just has no answer for this Spartan offense here in the first quarter.
Castleton has done well to move the ball, whether it be through the air or on the ground. So many different backs that they can go to. On second down, looking to the left all day. Looking in for McIntosh again. Not able to haul that one in.
McCarthy's pass falling incomplete.
D. Jones on the coverage for Fitchburg State. We'll take a look at it again. Always going to throw that fade. That was always the call. Jones did a really good job getting in there.
Leslie Jones.
Breaking that up.
Coverage for Fitchburg, 3rd and 3.
I'll give D. Jones the credit there, the former Fitchburg Red Raider. 3rd down and 3, 1:35 to go, first quarter of play. Castleton with 1 touchdown in this game, looking for a second on this drive. They go to Morse on the handoff, got a bunch of yards last time. This time, it's going to be pretty close to the mark.
Sideline crew is already indicating 4th down.
Montero and Farmer had the Fitchburg hit. That was a
Got to
short
think
gain on
Castleton will
play.
go for it, though.
Brings up 4th and about 2 for Castleton.
Absolutely. They may be sneaking a sneak here, and that's exactly what they'll do. I could hear a couple fans asking for it and asking that they deliver. Jacob McCarthy taking it himself, going to the left side of the line.
Waiting for a spot.
Very close here. I think I saw an indicator to move the chains. Yes, indeed. They are going to move the chains. 4th and 2, they hurry up to the line, run the quick QB sneak. They get just enough. As you can see here, that big hole on the left side. You can't have that on 4th down. That big hole right over the left guard. Not too difficult for Jacob McCarthy to pick it up there.
5 yards needed here, and on 1st down, Morse had a handle on the jersey, lost the handle on the jersey, and Morse will get in there. Touchdown, Castleton.
Just 1 play after that big 4th down conversion. Castleton does not mess around. They go right back to the ground game, punch it into the end zone. Speaking of punching, Fitchburg State is on spaghetti legs right now. They are wobbling as we approach the end of the first quarter.
Crossman in to attempt the extra point. Out of 100 Swan hold.
So Noah Crossman looking to stay perfect on the campaign. Kicks up, kicks good. 38 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's the Falcons 0, the Spartans 14.
And folks, while we have a moment, we want to let you know that Fitchburg Access Television is your local access TV station. If you live, work, go to school in, or are a member of a Fitchburg organization, you can become a member of FATV. Membership brings many benefits and gives you access to all of FATV's equipment, including cameras, audio and lighting equipment, edit suites, studios, and of course so much more, including our new addition, the FATV Podcast Suite. We offer technical training classes to teach you how to create your own program. You can reserve channel time to broadcast your program to the community and beyond. Visit fatv.org for more details and start producing your own show today. I think we're getting pretty good at these ad reads, Dan. They're not officially ad reads because, you know, community organizations talking about ourselves and how great we are and all that, but they're ad reads, and I think we're good at them.
I mean, self-advertisement is not anything that anyone would frown upon.
That's right.
Crossman to boot it away. And they'll kick it right back to Palizé. We'll take this one on the far side. Wrestle to the ground at the 35-yard line. Pretty good return for the Falcons.
You mentioned, Dan, that Ben Palizé had that big return against Dean last week. Castleton hasn't been burned by it yet. But he might be their most explosive bit of offense right now. Of course, it's never good when, you know, the biggest chance you have to score is immediately after the other team has scored. But, you know, the offense is working on that, presumably.
So less than 35 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. Falcons will see if they can make any more progress on this side of the field. They've got some of their best starting positions of the day at the very least. On first down, it's going to be Sims taking it up the middle on that quick handoff.
The ball carrier.
Pretty good gain for him, about 4. We'll call it 2nd down and 6.
If he can average 4 yards a carry, it would definitely be helpful.
It would be. They're going to get off one more play before the end of the quarter here. Yeah, I think they're standing around long enough. They're going to be content to let the whistle blow. And that will be the end of the first period. I'm sorry, Dan, go ahead.
Because I was going to say, because if they're going to score, they want you calling it.
I was just thinking they want to flip the action because all of the action in the first quarter was all down at the right side end zone, which for us here positioned pretty much at about, we'll say the 25-yard line on the left side is it's pretty far away from us. It's been difficult. It'll be good to have some action on the left side. Although not too much, we hope, as Fitchburg State will now be driving left to right as we get ready for the second quarter of action here from Elliott Field in Fitchburg on what is just an absolutely beautiful day. Folks, if you are at home, if you are on the fence, if you're thinking, oh, the guys on TV don't want you to come out, come on out. Come on out to Elliott Field, catch the rest of this game. If you don't want to, if you can't, if you're a little bit further away, we understand. We'll be happy to keep you company, but there are still plenty of good seats available on a beautiful day for football here at Elliott Field. It's outdoors, there's no roof. It's a good day, Dan.
It is. It's beautiful out today. Good weather, a little bit of breeze, but you know, that's what paperweights are for.
That's what the paperweights are for, and honestly, with the breeze, the sun isn't even that bad. Because if there was no breeze, the sun would be, baking. We get ready to start the second quarter of action here. Fitchburg State trailing 14-0. They face 2nd down and 6 from about their own 46-yard line. Motion to the far side for the Falcon. I think that was a play action, and Haskins was keeping it himself. Either way, it blew up immediately. Haskins did keep it. He loses about a yard.
It's hard to really be able to do the play action when you can't even fake the handoff before there's action there from the defense.
Pretty much. As soon as Haskins pulled the ball back, I don't think he was going to run with it, but he was just hit. So now Falcons facing a long 3rd down, call it 3rd and 7. They're at about their own 37. They need to get out to the 44 to move the chains. Couple tight ends, couple receivers, one man in the backfield. Straight drop for Haskins, throws left, pass is tipped and incomplete. It was off the hands of Chris Rice. I believe it was intended for Jordan Dickerson. So Fitchburg State, Dan, they get the ball back, they switch ends, but no luck on offense still. They will kick it away once again.
And as we mentioned, Chris Rice, who is one of those, he's the leader of that defense for Castleton. He's a D lineman, but you saw him step back there, and he read where the pass was going to go to Dickerson on the far side, put his hand up, and said, that ball shall not pass.
Haskins here to kick it away on 4th and 7. Under a lot of pressure, finally gets it away. Fair catch called for and made at about the 33 by Jared Brockway. So Castleton gets the ball back less than a minute into the second quarter here, already with a 2-score lead, Dan, and frankly looking pretty unstoppable on offense.
Right now, Jacob McCarthy 4 for 9 for 67 yards and a touchdown. 54 of those yards coming from Jared Brockway, the other 13 the touchdown catch by Sejon McIntosh.
Spartan offense will come back out on the field. We've got Noah. I must have misread the number. I thought it was Noah Crossman lined up in the backfield.
Looks like Simon Davis Jr.
Thank you very much. Handoff goes to Davis on first down. He plunges forward across the 35. He'll get out to about the 36-yard line, call it a gain of 3, and it'll be 2nd down and 7.
He's one of those long-standing Castleton Spartans. 12 carries for 27 yards last week against Plymouth State.
Davis Jr. will stay in the backfield. 3 wide receivers for Castleton, 2 to the near side, 1 to the far. They also have a tight end, and Davis is the lone step back behind the quarterback McCarthy. Davis takes it here on 2nd down. Great blocking along the right side. He's not even hit until he has the 1st down. Stop the clock, move the chains. 1st down Spartans out to about the 45-yard line. Once again, Castleton is on the move.
Don't feel like I've seen too many runs out to the flanks, but we've seen a lot of dives up the middle. But in this particular case, Davis Jr. able to get out to that far side and found enough space to get himself a 1st down.
Not quite the 45, we'll call it the 43-yard line for Castleton. Bring in a little more beef, an extra tight end on the line. Play fake, McCarthy under a lot of pressure. He is in trouble, just dumps it off looking for somebody. Pass falls incomplete. Davis Jr. was the intended receiver. He was there, but McCarthy found himself under a lot of pressure from Justin Stanford.
Freshman from Warrenton, Georgia. 6 feet tall, 270 pounds. And he can muscle out there. We've seen him a few times make it its way into the backfield, and that time pressuring McCarthy to get that ball off and forcing the incompletion.
Falcons are going to need that from their defensive line. They don't want to commit too much of the linebacking core to the pass rush, or else they'll get beat deep. Now on 2nd down, a handoff up the middle for Simon Davis Jr. Doesn't get much. I think he might have tripped up more than been hit, really. It's a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd and 8 for Castleton.
Yep, trying to go back to that run up the middle. We'll have the replay here. Tries to go up the middle, and I think there was a little bit of contact there. That was 90-something. Might have been Stanford again.
Could have been. 3rd down and 8 now for Castleton. They go back to the 3 receiver set. 1 tight end, still with Simon Davis Jr. in the backfield. Play action fake, McCarthy will throw, looks to his left, pass is high and incomplete. Wide open, easily would have had the 1st down. Wyatt Jackson, the intended receiver. Dan, there was nothing but field turf in a 10-yard radius around Wyatt Jackson. Take a look at this one again.
First time it's been thrown in his direction. He had a lot of space to work with, ball just a little high, and he just can't close his hands on it quickly enough.
It's a little high. I still think it was a catchable ball. Not the best throw we've seen from McCarthy today. Fitchburg State gets a bit of a break there, and Castleton will kick it away. Elijah Zaire McKnight set back deep to return. Kick is away. Taken in at about the 17 by McKnight. Looks to get a block, spins across the 25 before being brought down at about the 27-yard line, where the Falcon offense will take over.
Wrapped up by Devin Kimball for Castleton.
So now I think it's a good time to have our first scoreboard update of the season.
Let's do it.
All right.
What's going on in the MASCAC?
All right, so first off, last night we had 2 games. Westfield State skunked by Western New England 48-0, and Mass Maritime, first game of the season, took down SUNY Maritime 13-6. St. John Fisher 38-7 over Framingham. UMass Dartmouth took revenge for the Falcons over Dean 48-29, and Union, number 14 in the country, how do you think they did against Worcester State?
They won.
By a lot, 62-13.
That's good.
A little more after the next play.
1st and 10 Falcons at their own 26-yard line. McKnight comes in motion. He takes the pitch to the near side, cuts upfield, gets back across the line of scrimmage, not much more than that. Finally brought down by Seth Gawanter. Linebacker is one of the captains for Castleton, and he makes the hit there after a gain of about a yard. Take a look at it again, Dan.
Getting to sit out here, at least the play's happening right in front of us, so we get a really good chance to see how the formation works there. We could see the pitch from Haskins to McKnight, and it was just Gawanter able to reach out and stop him there.
Now 2nd down 9 for Fitchburg State. Handoff goes up the middle for Sims. Ball's on the ground. There's a scramble for it. Castleton comes out with the football. Everything going wrong for Fitchburg State University. Castleton recovers the fumble inside the 30-yard line.
Mark Howland comes up with it for the Spartans. Just trying to go back to that run up the middle. And
Sims just put the ball on the ground.
This comes out with the contact. Howland the first on it.
Castleton had to kick it away on their last possession. Now they get it with excellent field position. And Dan, this is evoking memories of the St. Bernard's game last night. The superior offense takes over with good field position. Spartans need to put this, take advantage of this opportunity that Fitchburg has given them. McCarthy back to throw, wants the dagger, long, it is high and incomplete. They wanted the score right there. Matthew Hestford, the intended receiver. Ball was just a little bit overthrown for him. But Dan, you could see right there, Castleton was going for a one-play drive.
Just wanted to strike immediately, make the Falcons pay for coughing up the football. And Hestford, the graduate student running back, starting that play in the backfield, just gunning up the middle, looking for that one, just couldn't pull it in.
It was a well-drawn-up play. He had the opening up the seam. McCarthy unable to hit him. Now on second down, it's a handoff for Hestford. Gets across the 25. Good second effort as he was initially hit at about the 24, but he kept his legs churning, and he was able to pick up a couple extra yards. They'll mark him down at the 22, and we've got some pushing and shoving and a flag. We saw Dakota Lucero come out of there. He was not happy with somebody. He's still not happy with somebody. Now a Fitchburg State player just kind of throws a Castleton man aside. Mike Brown needs to watch himself in my estimation. Lucero's going to get sent to the sideline. A couple more Falcons will check in. We will await the official determination as to the penalty here. You can hear the Castleton side very vocal in their disapproval of the Falcon actions after that play. The officiating crew is taking a long time to hash out what all they want to call here.
Perhaps if they are in fact going to call more than one penalty on all of this.
So we have unsportsmanlike conduct against Castleton. The partisan crowd on the left side here does not approve of that. And there is no foul against Fitchburg State. It's a bit of a break in my opinion, Dan. There were a couple of times there that I thought Fitchburg might have a player cautioned, so to speak.
If there's going to be any cautioning, it will be verbal, and perhaps it will be the coaching staff who will take care of such cautions.
Well, it is a big swing here. After the penalty, they'll bring up third down and maybe 22, it looks like.
It's on the 37-yard line, and the yard to gain is the 18. So that'll make it 19.
Third and 19 for Castleton. Now they are outside field goal territory too. This is probably 2 down for them. And we get whistles and flags that kill the play. And the indication is a false start against the Spartans. Dan, do you think Castleton got the memo that they want to go to the end zone on the left this quarter? Because they are going the wrong direction right now.
False start backs them up another 5 yards. So after that run by Hestford, 20 yards of penalties backing up Castleton. They're just trying to add to the degree of difficulty because things seem to come so easily to them in the first quarter.
I see, okay.
Because it will look all the more backbreaking if they score on this play.
Well, it will be third down and about 23 for Castleton. McCarthy will throw to the right, pass is complete. It's going to be a gain of maybe 4 or 5 yards to Alex Martellio.
Another graduate student on this Spartan team. A lot of players on this squad wanting to come back and make sure they got their 4 years of football with this Castleton program and work on a master's at Castleton too.
Fourth down, Castleton.
Nothing wrong with that. So now on 4th and about 19 for the Spartans inside the Falcon 40. They're not going to punt it, so you may as well go for it. Wonder what kind of play call you have for 4th and 19. McCarthy back to pass, looking to his left, throws, passes caught at about the 20-yard line, spinning forward to the 15. That's going to be a first down for the Spartans.
Anthony Martinez coming up with it. Falcons only had 3 linemen there. They were trying to sell out for the pass, and even with that, though, Martinez had far too much space to work with.
4th down and 19. Your defense can't get a stop. Now Castleton has it again. 1st and 10 at the Falcon 15-yard line. You thought maybe, Dan, the defense for Fitchburg State was going to catch a break after the turnover, after the penalties by Castleton. They can't get that 4th down stop. Now the Spartans are knocking on the door inside the red zone. McCarthy to throw on 1st down, under pressure, steps up, he's going to keep it himself, he slides forward and is speared down, and 3 flags come in, 4 flags now. That was a very violent hit after the quarterback had already given himself up. Aulu Saint is not going to get away with that. I think every official on the field would have thrown a flag for it.
Away with that timing there. It looked pretty close. It looked like he was already committed in the action, but it does look bad. And you know, Spartans fans thinking that's absolute diabolical.
I don't think there was menace there so much as just bad discipline. The quarterback had pretty clearly already given himself up. He was already sliding. Lusain came in and just delivered a big hit. Surprised the officials are taking this long to discuss it.
It really looked like a timing thing to me.
I mean, 4 flags came in. Like 4 different officials decided to throw the flag.
He's already left his feet, and it's Michael Brown, I believe, who made the tackle there, actually. 35. And the way it looked to me live was Brown had already left his feet to make the tackle as McCarthy was going to the ground. He was already committed in the action. It wasn't immediately obvious that McCarthy was giving himself up at that moment. It's bang, bang to me. I understand. If they call the penalty, I understand it. If they don't call the penalty, I understand it as well.
They will call a personal foul for targeting against Fitchburg State. So they'll assess half the distance to the goal from the spot.
And it means that Mike Brown will take no further part in this game either. That's the other thing, too, is the fact that he left his feet, he was committed in the action, but his head still makes contact first. It's a spear down, essentially. That is targeting, and it will get you thrown out.
And you can see here on the near sideline, Mike Brown is beside himself, having to be consoled by half of the defense, really, for Fitchburg State.
I think if McCarthy's a more mobile quarterback, that player who's committing for extra yardage, that play probably would have been fine, in a sense. It's
well,
just
if he wasn't sliding, if he wasn't giving himself up,
yeah,
it's a good hard hit.
Yes, is what I'm trying to say there. It's just, though, McCarthy doesn't have that in his profile, I think, that mobility, and he's going to be the type of quarterback who gives himself up there, and that's just puts yourself in a bad situation if you're going to try to sell out and make that hit like that. And remember that the officials do not have the benefit of instant replay either here at the Division III level.
So Mike Brown, one of the starting linebackers for Fitchburg State, has been ejected for that personal foul, that targeting call. He will take no further part. The Fitchburg defense that has already had trouble stopping Castleton, now short one of their starters. As we return to live action here, 1st and goal for the Spartans at about the 6-yard line, still from the shotgun, 2 men in the backfield. Almost a direct handoff coming to the near side. Not much there, however. Lucas Morse fighting forward. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. I think he ultimately lost a couple yards. It'll be second and goal.
Love the box man back up a yard there as Morse just trying to wait out the line. Then he thought maybe he could see a little bit of an opening, but it did close up quickly enough. And Aola Saint was the one making the tackle there.
Saw Morse coming in motion, moving toward the direction of that play. Even as the ball was snapped, it was almost snapped into his hands rather than McCarthy's. Now on second and goal, McCarthy wants to throw, looks to his right, throws for the end zone, jump ball is brought down, touchdown Castleton. Evan Keegan the catch.
6'4" tight end. Found himself an opportunity, able to haul that one in. It's 20 in the first half for this Spartan side.
A well-thrown pass that time by McCarthy. It was high enough that only Keegan could get up there and bring him down, and the big man's got the hops to get there. Made the catch, survived the contact, held on as he hit the ground. He gets the touchdown, and now we await the extra point. That kick is up and through. We are halfway through the second quarter of this one. Castleton leads 21-0, Dan, and this is in danger of becoming a blowout.
The Falcons have had a lot of trouble getting their offense going in the early stages of this contest. Only 2 first downs converted thus far. Haskins 2 of 5 through the air for 16 yards. Sims 6 carries for 10 yards, but that damaging fumble, which gave Castleton that field position, and even with those penalties, they looked like they were their own worst enemy for a moment, but ultimately a big 4th down conversion, a personal foul, and then the end zone, and now the Spartans lead by 3 scores. Pretty sure that's the biggest lead they've had against Fitchburg State in this short history of a rivalry between these two sides. It's the 5th time they've met up.
I was going to say, Daniel, we've had the unfortunate pleasure of seeing plenty of teams come here to Elliott Field and hang a big old number on the board. Castleton doesn't really feel like one of them. We expected this to be a bit of a tighter game.
Indeed, even with that 13-0 win over Plymouth State, it felt like they were having trouble getting the offense going. Plymouth State played earlier today against Husson. Husson put up a decent number of points last week, and Plymouth was able to hold them to 10. Unfortunately, the Panthers only scored 7.
Kickoff return here for the Falcons is brought out to about the 29-yard line. Ben Palizé once again not able to get off the big return there, but he's done his job.
It really feels like at this moment he's been the brightest spot for Fitchburg State. It's just nice to have someone who seems like a pretty consistent kick returner, because we've seen so many challenges with that in the last few years, and Zaire McKnight as well on the punt returns.
You really have to go back. I don't know if you have to go back as far as Jeremy Kimber, but he's the one that pops up in my mind as the last time the Falcons had that really dangerous threat on the kick returns.
Also thinking Philip St. Just as well, back in the mid-2010s. But yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while indeed. Fitchburg State will take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. Play action fake, wants to throw long. Haskins' ball is wobbly, but it is caught, brought in at midfield, breaking into the open field, gets a block, and I think he is gone. 15-10, no! Dragged down from behind, still a big, big play. Jordan Dickerson the catch and run. It's a huge gain, the biggest play of the day for the Falcon offense. Gets them all the way down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. And don't go carving anything into stone yet. Fitchburg State is not out of this one.
It's a great response there from the Falcons. Best throw that Haskins has had in this young season, and he finds Dickerson, who jettas his way down the far side, deep into Castleton territory.
1st and goal now. Sims gets the carry. Straight into the heart of the Castleton D-line, and nothing doing there. That run up the middle game, Dan, it is just not there for Fitchburg State. Castleton with 4 big bodies on that defensive line. The Falcon O-line can't do anything against them for the most part.
I could see Sims was just hugging the ball, just trying to hold on to it. He remembers what happened that last drive. and he knows he doesn't want a repeat of that, especially after they've gotten so deep into Castleton territory, this close to their first touchdown of the season.
Second and goal, Fitchburg State from the 8-yard line. Motion to the far side, Haskins runs the option, he pitches it left. Gets close, but ultimately driven back. That was Mac Kimball who got the ball.
Mac Kimball, the ball carrier.
Didn't get much with it, maybe a few. And they'll call it no gain.
Foxman ended up moving it one step to his left, basically.
Well, they're moving to his left, so that's progress, but you need to do it in more than one step at a time.
A little over 5.5 to go in this first half of play. Falcons trail by 3 scores. But this is their chance to respond.
Third and goal here for Fitchburg State. Haskins will throw, rolls to his right. Wants the corner of the end zone. Kimball falls down. He was wide open. Couldn't keep his footing as he tried to come back and make the catch. He had a couple steps. There was nobody there but him in the corner of the end zone. Looked like the ball was there too. Kimball just couldn't keep his feet under him.
Absolutely beside himself, I have to imagine. He's going to stay on the field as right now the Falcons feel like they just need to put something on the board. And so Kimball's going to try a field goal.
Kimball out to attempt a field goal for the Falcons.
You can't come away from this with no points. As frustrating as it is to not get the touchdown after that big play, Falcons opting to go for the field goal here, try to get something on the board.
It's like 24 yards left to right.
It's a bad snap. Kimball just picks it up, tries to make something happen with it. I was saying you can't come away with no points here. Well, the Falcons just came away with no points here. Bad snap. There was nothing they could do about it from there.
All starts from there. Wilson tries to get the football back up, but it's clear that it's just not going to work out. And so Kimball tries to improvise and salvage, but just no chance after that.
Fitchburg State got that one big play, but after that there was nothing going in the right direction for them. 3 plays didn't get them more than a yard. They ultimately tried to go for the field goal, and even that didn't work. Still scoreless. Now Castleton with the ball, 1st and 10. Pass to the far side is complete to Davis Jr. He's got a big gain. He's across the 40 before stepping out of bounds. Simon Davis Jr., a nice little catch and run.
Just get out to those sidelines, get out to the flanks. It feels like that's a good place to exploit, really, for either side, but Castleton's done it a couple times already. Davis Jr. on what will be his first catch of the day, gets some yards.
Just under 5 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Plenty of time for Castleton. I believe they still have all 3 of their timeouts. First down handoff. This play is blown up in the backfield. Davis Jr. was dragged down immediately.
Davis is the ball carrier. Taken down for a loss in the backfield by number 46, Diamond Andrew.
Diamond Andrew making the tackle. One of my favorite names among the many, many, many new names we've gotten to learn here on the Falcon roster. Diamond Andrew, one of the ones that sticks out.
Indeed, he's even on the cover of our program this week.
Second down and 14 after the loss. McCarthy wants to throw. Over the middle, it's a wobbly duck and it goes incomplete. He was under a lot of heat as he threw that one, couldn't get it away clean. Goes incomplete. It was intended for Fisher. It'll be 3rd down now for Castleton as the Falcon defense looks to get a stop.
On that one play, McCarthy looks so uncomfortable throwing it. Looked to the point that 4 different Falcons had a better look at that ball than the one guy that Castleton wanted. But now for a 3rd and 15. Castleton today 2 for 6 on 3rd down. They're 2 of 2 on 4th down, but I don't think they're in that territory.
One of those 4th downs was a 19-yard pickup, so they definitely have it in them to get the big chunk they need. Play action fake, quick pass to the far side is complete. Try to get it with the wide receiver screen there. He got back across the initial line of scrimmage, but not much more than that.
And Will Fisher is the one who comes up with that catch.
Will Fisher with the reception.
Fisher makes his first catch of the day. But Fitchburg State's defense gets the stand that they needed. Give Jamie Ruiz credit for the hit. And the punting unit comes back out for the Spartans. So Dan, Fitchburg State's offense has a chance to try to get something going after they were unable to take advantage of the big play. Punt is away, high, backing up, taking it at about the 18-yard line, and brought down at the 25, but a flag comes in behind. I think we may be backing up Fitchburg State even more than that after the short return by Elijah Zaire McKnight.
Zaire McKnight, one of two players from Tracy, California. Alfred Robinson, also 12 and 13 on your roster. Both sophomores as well, part of the class of 2020.
Wait, I'm confused. If they're sophomores, how are they part of the class of 2020?
High school class of
High
2020.
school class, there you go, you're smart. The foul is a hold indicated against Fitchburg State. So they'll back him up 10 yards from that spot. Offense will take over 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Still 3:13 to play here, and Fitchburg State will get the ball to start the second half. So a chance for them to recapture momentum. Haskins' pass on 1st down is complete to the near side, brought down at the 20, still in bounds. Tim O'Neill the catch.
Haskins' pass is complete. Number 17, Timothy O'Neill.
Clock continues to move after a gain of about 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
That old North Middlesex connection, as we alluded to before. Tim O'Neill and Joe Haskins, both former North Middlesex Patriots.
Playing here for the Falcons, first game here at Elliott Field in 2 years. Haskins' 2nd down throw is high, but it is caught. Just getting across the line to gain before being brought down. That's Matty Aguirre on the catch. Stop the clock, move the chains. It'll be 1st down, Fitchburg State.
First time we've said Matty Aguirre's name today. He's lined up a bunch as one of those tight ends. He's gone in motion once or twice, but now this time able to haul in a ball. And Fitchburg gets another 1st down.
As we approach 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to the air on 1st down, pass to O'Neill on the near side this time. They're just ping-ponging back and forth right now. O'Neill on the near side, Aguirre on the far. This time it's O'Neill with the 5-yard catch.
And Castleton's going to call timeout with 1:50 to go in the first half of play, and I believe that is the first timeout of the contest for either side.
Interesting. I suppose if you're Castleton, you want to, you're not convinced that Fitchburg State can really move the ball, so even after they gained 5 on 1st down, you're thinking, prove it to us again, and if not, we'll get the ball back. I guess that's the mindset there. And now we got whistles before this play. Castleton crowd here on the left side is enjoying themselves, as they have the right to. Their team leads by 3 scores after all. This is a rather long discussion about, halftime lunch plans. See if one of the officials is going to kick it like a Falcon.
So I know Castleton called the timeout. I wonder, it felt like a really quick timeout, didn't it?
Sort of.
I wonder if they felt maybe not enough time was really given?
That's entirely possible.
Or have they felt that something's gone wrong and Castleton's had to call a 2nd timeout, which is legal in NCAA football. If you try to call 2 timeouts in between plays, that's a 15-yard penalty in the NFL.
I see. Well, as happy as we are to be here at Elliott Field, Dan, we want to take a moment and talk about historic Crocker Field, recognized for its beauty and listed on the National Register of Historical Places, and it needs your help. Located in the heart of the community, built in 1918, this Central Massachusetts field has a fabled history in the hearts of Fitchburg High alumni and a magnificent future in the Fitchburg community. We'll tell you more about how you can be part of the effort to save Crocker Field in just a few moments. We'll return back to live action here after the either two very short or one very long timeout. Nobody's really quite sure. But it'll be 2nd down and 5 for Fitchburg. Haskins takes the snap, looks to his right. Now rolls to his right under pressure, throws incomplete. Did have a receiver vaguely in the area, Ben Palizet, the intended target. First time we've really seen Palizet involved on the offensive side of the ball, Dan. He's been the kick returner, but I don't believe he has a carry or a reception to this point.
Not today, and Palizet, he's listed as a running back. When he was at Grove City, he was actually a corner. Had a couple of fumble recoveries, including one in a bowl game. They do have bowl games in Division III up here in the Northeast.
Okay.
For those teams that don't make it into the NCAA playoffs.
3rd down and 5 now. Haskins looks to his right again, throws to his right. Passes well behind his receiver. I don't know if maybe there was some miscommunication there, Dan. It looked like Jordan Dickerson was running a straight fly route, and Haskins was throwing a comeback to the sideline. The result was that the ball was about 10 yards behind the receiver.
And it's not a good sign when Scott Sprone's the one who makes the catch.
No. Your head coach is not an eligible receiver on most plays. So Dan, Castleton called that timeout after 1st down, not really convinced that Fitchburg State could continue moving the ball, and the Falcons proceeded to prove them right with 2 straight incompletions, and now they will presumably kick it away here on 4th down. Haskins does give it the boot. Spartans are just going to call poison and let this one be downed at the 30-yard line.
Puck is down by Fitchburg State.
So the Spartans will have about 95 seconds left as they try to put yet more points on the board. Worth mentioning for a second time that Castleton will have to kick away to start the 3rd quarter.
Castleton 1st and 10 from their own 37.
And we were discussing Crocker Field and how you can be part of the restoration efforts and donate today. You can learn more about how you can help the Crocker Field Restoration Committee online at crockerfield.org, or you can mail your donations to Crocker Field Restoration, 140 Arnhow Farm Road, right here in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, 01420. And of course, all of your donations are tax deductible. 1st and 10 Spartans at their own 37-yard line. McCarthy hands off to the right side. Nothing fancy this time for Castleton. Maybe they were thinking we'll just get the ball back and see what happens, but now they're content to run out the clock.
Devin Walner, again the ball carrier. Walner is 5'3", 226. It's a very interesting size that he brings.
2nd down and 7 after the 3-yard run on 1st down. This is Wallner again. Just bowling into that line rather. He's got about 4 more, and Castleton will call timeout. They want to keep the ball moving, maximize their chances to put yet more points on the board. Already leading this one by 3 scores as we approach halftime.
I feel this is a team that will probably feel like they could never score enough points. You look at last season, how many points they scored. It went 17-10, 21-14, 27-3-15. Those were all losses. The last 2 games against Anna Maria and Dean, they scored 33 and 38. Averaged 19.8 points per game last season. And so they're already over that average from the last campaign, already over the total they put up against what appears to be a very defensively sound Plymouth team. And they probably want to put up and try to show off what their offense can do to their opposition.
And while we have a moment here during the timeout, folks, we want to just encourage you once again, if you are at all interested in becoming part of the volunteer team here at FATV, it's a wonderful opportunity just to learn a new skill, just to get to do something cool, to be part of a live professional quality TV broadcast. I say professional quality. I think you and I are all right. We might be dragging down the average, but you know, it's just a fantastic experience, and you really should be part of it if you can. Now on third down, McCarthy's throw is high, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted. You can see there, Jamie Ruiz is really unhappy.
Jamie Ruiz with the pass break.
Ruiz, one of the 12 returning Falcons from 2 years ago. You see, that was just a high ball, and that was some great effort there by Anthony Martinez, but he was never going to be able to pull that in, nor would, I think, anybody.
Ruiz went up for it. He got both hands on it. Couldn't make the interception. Now Castleton will kick it away on fourth down. Taken in at about the 13-yard line. Try to make something happen here in the dying moments of the second quarter. But all that's going to happen is you're going to get thrown to the ground. Not much that Elijah Zaire McKnight could do there. There is a flag on the play, however, back toward the line of scrimmage. Wonder if maybe it's a hold against Castleton, but we'll see. It's a hold indicated against the Falcons.
Penalty indicated against the Falcons.
So they will back Fitchburg State up from the point of the infraction there. And now, Dan, with 39 seconds to play at your own 11-yard line with an offense that has been inconsistent, to be kind, I suspect we are going to see the Falcons take a couple knees and go into the locker rooms here.
Feels like at this point, unless they want to just try to go for broke, see if they can replicate what happened with Jordan Dickerson earlier.
Well, they do have the offense on the field. Haskins rolls to his right on first down. He chooses to keep it himself, picks up a couple and ducks out of bounds.
Be a 2-yard gain and stops the clock as well.
You know, Fitchburg State, you know, you're down by 3 scores. It may be unlikely, but you do have to take these risks. It'll be second down and 8. The more important number is the 34 seconds left on the clock. I do think the Falcons have all 3 timeouts, Dan.
I do believe so as well.
Scott Sperone has kept those in his back pocket for just such an occasion. We'll see if the Falcon offense can entice him to use them. On second down, Haskins under pressure, escapes, rolls to his right, needs to keep it again. And he ducks out of bounds after a gain of 2, and 7 more seconds run off the clock.
Haskins really wanted to pass there on second down. You know, Andrew Janier broke into the backfield, and with the rush there, you see Dustin Rock there as well, yet another graduate student for Castleton, and ultimately Haskins had to do the exact same thing he did on first down, roll out to the right, then just keep it and roll out of bounds for a gain of not too much that time, so 7 to gain on third down.
Third down, 7 for Fitchburg State. Haskins wants to go to his right, nothing there, rolls left, throws over the middle. Don't know exactly who that was intended for. I think he was probably going for Matt Kimball, but there was really nobody in the vicinity of it. And the drive comes to nothing. Fitchburg State will have to kick it away.
Of course, that was also motivating Castleton, just the fact that if they could force a punt, it's not tremendously awful field position they're going to have with the ball and maybe 15 seconds to work with and a timeout, and if they want to try to go for another one, they can also try to get into field goal range.
Stranger things have happened.
Grossman hit from 34 last week against Plymouth.
Haskins will kick it away on fourth down. Short kick. Brockway calls poison. They're just going to let it roll out of bounds. Still inside Falcon territory. There is another flag down as well.
We're seeing a lack of discipline on this punt return special teams here.
That is absolutely true. I have a more general, vague question for you.
Which would be?
In terms of actual real time, has this been the longest 5 minutes of football in recorded history? Because it feels like this has been the longest 5 minutes of football in recorded history.
Both teams really seem to want to try to score. I mean, there are a lot of teams who will just take a knee and go into halftime, as you saw the hold against Castleton will back them up 10 yards. But both teams really do want to put points on the board in this situation, that they're willing to try to gamble. And, with the 21-point deficit for Fitchburg, what have they got to lose at this point?
That's a fair point. It's a very fair point. We'll see what Castleton wants to do after the hold pushes them back. They'll take over at their own 45-yard line. And I think we do see the victory formation here for the Spartans. They will be content to take a knee and go to the halftime locker rooms. And Fitchburg State will not take their 3 timeouts and extend things any further. Instead, they will head there as well. So, as we hit the end of the second quarter, to score 21-0 in favor of Castleton. And Dan, the Spartans have just absolutely dominated this game, really on both sides of the ball. Aside from one big play, the Falcon offense hasn't been able to get anything going.
215 yards of offense for Castleton, 95 for Fitchburg, and 62 of them were on that one catch and run.
33 yards of offense outside of that one play. That's, a fine drive. It's a very bad half, and it has been a very bad half for the Fitchburg State offense. And really the defense, unable to stop Castleton 3 different times. The Spartans putting it in the end zone thrice for a 21-0 lead.
Could be worse. Remember that game a few years ago against UMass Dartmouth where they got shut out and only had 83 yards of offense?
I do.
Well, this game's not worse than that.
It's not worse than that yet. And it probably won't be. In fact, it might even be good. Who knows? But regardless of the score, regardless of the performance, it is a wonderful day. We are so happy to be back here at Elliott Field, bringing you Falcon football here on College Football Saturday. Dan and I are going to take the halftime break along with the teams, but don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a few minutes to bring you the third quarter of action. It's Fitchburg State University football live right here on FATV. Back here live at Elliott Field on College Football Saturday here on FATV. John Gogarty joined as always by Dan Bolek. And Dan, we've talked about it before and I will harp on it again here. It just feels so good to be back here at Elliott Field calling a game and ignoring for a moment the fact that it is 21-0 Castleton.
I mean, when we come here to call Fitchburg State football, especially over the last few years, we know that there's not always going to be sometimes the games get a little bit out of hand. We've seen Fitchburg on the wrong side of some pretty ugly score lines. But it's always enjoyable to come here and watch the Falcons play, and when they win, it's twice as good.
And another thing that is twice as good is our coverage this year, including our man down on the sidelines. Let's send it down to Tim Foley.
Thanks, guys. Had a chance to speak with Coach Sperone at the half, and we talked about offense and defense a bit. They said they like the way they're passing the ball today. They're passing it a lot better than they did last week against Dean. They're hoping to get the run game going a bit more, and then looking at defense, they're trying to shore up that fourth down a bit better. They've given up a few of those today. They're hoping to play their best half of the football season so far here today in this second half. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Tim, for that report down on the sideline. You'd heard him talking about his discussions with Coach Sperone. We'll get a little bit into that as we get underway here in the third quarter. Kick is away, taken in at the 5-yard line, spinning upfield, back across the 20, and brought down across the 26-yard line is Ben Palize on the return for the Falcons. Dan, you heard Tim mention his conversation with Coach Sperone and how the Falcons had some really good success throwing the ball in the first half. That has been the bulk of their offense, 94 of their 95 total team yards coming through the air, although that can be a little deceptive.
Yep, that rushing tally, 15 carries for 1 yard is what the Falcons are sitting on right now, and that is obviously quite rough to say the least. And yeah, the passing game significantly better. As we mentioned, it was 1 for 11 last week. Joe Haskins is getting a little more comfortable under center slinging the ball, and he found Jordan Dickerson for that very long catch and run.
First down here for the Falcons. This play blown up pretty much right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing there for Frank Sims. Give him a gain of a yard. But that's pretty much been the story for Sims. 7 carries, 11 yards in the first half. This run between the tackles offense, it's what the Falcons want to do primarily, but it really has not worked for them at all.
Castleton has just such a strong defensive line. It makes it challenging to find any gaps to go through. And even the way that the Falcons' offensive formation is set up, it's really hard to get to the flanks the way they set up because you've got to send that man in motion. You've already telegraphed where you're going to go. Makes it all the more difficult, and that's not going to make things any easier either when you have a bad snap.
Trouble on the snap. It looks like Haskins did fall on it ultimately, but it's a loss of 2. It'll be up 3rd down and 11. Now, Dan, one thing we did see the Falcons succeeding on through the air, especially on their last drive, is these, quick passes to the flanks on the near or far sides of the field, almost like long handoffs. If you can just get those completions for 4 or 5 yards, loosen up the defense a little bit. A few more of those would be able to open up that Spartan defensive line, you would think, but now facing 3rd and 10, obviously Fitchburg State needs a little bit more than that.
I've wanted the teams to go more to the flanks in this contest, just haven't been able to find those openings.
Haskins wants to go long on 3rd down, under pressure, rolls to his right, throws for the sideline, incomplete. Tough catch it would have been. It was intended for Mac Kimball. Kimball unable to make the catch. Fitchburg State had some chances in the first half. We mentioned that big 62-yard catch and run by Dickerson. That play ultimately fell apart. I remember I believe it was the 3rd down and goal. They tried to hit Kimball in the end zone, but that didn't come to fruition. They ultimately went for a field goal that didn't even get the kick away because of a bad snap. Now their first possession of the 3rd quarter ends in a punt. Haskins rolls to his left, gets the kick away. It's just a low bouncing thing. Actually bounces over the returner Brockway. It's a good roll for Fitchburg State. It'll be about a 50-yard swing of field position, all things considered. Most of that coming thanks to the bounce over Brockway's head.
I know I was talking with Robin Como, one of our camera operators today, and she was pointing out that it's happened quite a few times that players have just blown tires on this turf today.
Yeah, you don't usually see that here at Elliott Field. That's usually something that happens on a natural grass surface where the footing is a little more uneven. But, it's been a couple years. Obviously, you practice on this field as much as you can, but it's been a while since there's been a legitimate football game played here at Elliott Field.
And if you've become a Falcons fan in the last 10 years, and if you've ever looked at the center field logo right at the 50-yard line, you may have no idea what that is.
It's been a while since they used that one, hasn't it?
Yeah. They stopped using that when they stopped calling themselves Fitchburg State College.
It hasn't been 10. It has been 10 years since I graduated, hasn't it?
I guess so.
Yeah. I was part of the very first graduating class of Fitchburg State University, technically.
My first game with Fitchburg State that I called, they were still called Fitchburg State College, but only for like a month and a half.
Pass to the near side on 1st down for Castleton is complete. Catch made there by Evan Keegan. He had one of the touchdowns in the first half for the Spartans, his pass from Jacob McCarthy. McCarthy had a pretty good first half, especially on the yardage front. 9 completions from 19 attempts, 126 yards, and 2 scores for him. You'd like to see a little bit more accuracy there in terms of completion percentage, but when your team's up by 3 scores in the first half, you can't really complain too much, now can you?
He's at least found a little more consistency in the long ball. That's what it feels to me.
2nd down, 6 now for the Spartans. McCarthy throws to the right. That pass is caught. Found the single coverage on the far side. Delivered a strike to Anthony Martinez. He gets into Falcon territory before finally being brought down. Martinez was one-on-one with Joel Montero. Thought it was Montero, may have been Spears. I apologize.
It was Spears who made the tackle there. And Martinez, just his second catch of the day, but that first one was such a damaging catch for Fitchburg State because that's what converted that 4th and 19.
This one damaging as well. It puts the Spartans back into Falcon territory. 1st and 10 at the 44. Hand off to the right side to Simon Davis Jr. And he is brought down in the backfield. A couple different Falcons, and then a huge hit away from the play. Okay, away from the play here. I don't think we're going to see it on replay. On replay, you see Simon Davis Jr. loses a couple of yards. Up above the top of the screen, right at the referee's feet, we saw Tyler Bowen absolutely annihilate a Falcon defender well away from the play, well after the whistle. Nothing happened.
It was Dakota Lucero who got knocked down there.
Knocked out. He was wrapped up and driven backwards. He was hit by a Mack truck.
The question's like, what was the point of that?
2nd down, 12 now for Castleton. McCarthy under pressure, gets it away. Got a step and through his hands. Incomplete, intended once again for Anthony Martinez. They wanted that big hitter to him. That would have been a dagger through the heart of Fitchburg State, and now we have a timeout on the field. It's a player down for Castleton. I believe it is the quarterback, McCarthy. I think he got hit as he let that ball go. See him there being tended to on the far sideline. Take a look at it again here. See if we can tell. Yeah, he just gets driven into as he gets rid of that ball. And now, thankfully, Jacob McCarthy is back up on his feet, and he will head to the sidelines. Dan, why don't we use this timeout to thank some of the underwriters who provide coverage for this and every FATV remote production.
Underwriting for this coverage brought to you by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and North End Subaru.
Thanks as always to them for the help they provide in making this and every FATV remote production possible. So now after the injury to McCarthy, Castleton will send in their backup quarterback, Evan Smith, the sophomore. Smith will go from the shotgun here on 3rd down and 12 from the Falcon 46. Play action fake, Smith will throw, looks to his left, now to his right, throws short, pass is incomplete, just a little bit too long for Jared Brockway there. And Castleton will likely kick it away. Fitchburg defense holds.
I will say that even if Brockway made that catch, it would have been quite impressive if he could have gotten the 1st down. There were 3 Falcons in the vicinity.
Smith did look downfield before going to his dump-off option. Good coverage by Fitchburg State, blanketing those deep receivers. Smith tried to hit Brockway on the short pass, couldn't find the accuracy. Castleton will kick it away. High spiraling kick, bounces at the 12, and it's just going to roll through the end zone for a touchback. Castleton was able to pin the Falcons inside the 20 in the first half. No success here. Falcon offense will take over 1st and 10.
I think Mike Morgan was hoping he was going to get a bounce off the turf out of bounds inside the 10, but the ball did not bounce favorably for him, and I like that Elijah Zaire McKnight just let that ball go. I've seen punt returners for the Falcons in the past try to pick that up and do something with it, and that's a what are you doing moment. But fortunately, as I've said, the kick and punt returning, at least I like that.
It has been a bright spot for the Falcons. You know, we've seen Palizé have a really good day on the return game. He's always looked like a threat, and he's gotten good yardage. We'll see if the offense can back him up here, try to get them back in this game. 1st and 10, Falcons at their own 20. Hoskins wants to throw to his left. He throws it right into the arms of the Castleton defender, but the ball goes down and hits the turf, incomplete. Hard to tell who it was intended for. I think it was swallowed up at the line by Cade Gawanter. Big number 94, one of the defensive tackles. We'll take a look at it again here.
That ball just swallowed up by Gawanter.
That's what you're trained to do as a defensive lineman. If you can't get to the quarterback by the time he's going to release the ball, just get your arms up and swat it down. Gawanter did a good job there swatting that one just as he's instructed to do. Now on second down, a pitch to the near side nearly blows up, tries to reverse field running backwards, and finally brought down. Aisha Zaire McKnight had nowhere to go there. That was anything but easy for Zaire McKnight.
It's been so difficult for the Falcons to get the ground game going. They get the pitch out, but Zaire McKnight's already under pressure.
It's a loss of 12, brings up third down and 22 for Fitchburg State. The Castleton crowd is screaming with joy at the prospects here. Hoskins under pressure in his own end zone, finally escapes and gets across the line of scrimmage, but he's going to be brought down after a short gain, nowhere near the line to gain. And Fitchburg State will have to kick it away on fourth down.
This week, as we've been seeing, Castleton's, their pass rush, their defensive ground game has just been so powerful. Fitchburg has had no success opening up any holes, and they've had limited success in being able to buy Haskins time to be able to look downfield.
Joe Haskins will stay on to kick this one away. 4th and 16 here. This time he rolls right before getting the kickoff. Picked up by Brockway on a bounce at midfield. He'll try to make something happen, but he is ultimately swarmed by a whole flock of Falcons and brought down just barely inside Fitchburg State territory.
Now the Falcons, in terms of running yards, it is 4 to the bad.
That's not great.
Marvin G. Baptiste had that hit for Fitchburg. Spartans 1st and 10.
They've just got to try to go to the pass game more often, because the way that this D-line is going for Castleton, it's going to be nigh impossible to get anything going there.
1st and 10 Castleton at the Falcon 46-yard line. Good news on the injury front. Jacob McCarthy is back in the game as the Castleton quarterback. Probably just got the wind knocked out of him on that injury earlier. Handoff goes up the middle this time for Castleton. Lucas Morse, the ball carrier, doesn't get much. Maybe a yard or two. We'll keep the clock moving. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Luke Noyes the first to arrive for the Falcons. Mitchell Gunther ended up on top of his ball carrier as well.
That's basically the classic play for the Falcon defense. Bring into Noyes, bring into Gunth. I thought that would get a laugh, not just a hmm. That was funny, darn it.
My laugh was just not audible enough.
Okay. 2nd down at 8 now for Castleton. Handoff goes to Morse, this time to the left side. He hits the hole and drives forward before finally being dragged down. Let's give Makandu Ashima credit for the tackle there. And we'll stop the clock as there is a Falcon down. I believe that is Diamond Andrew. Being tended to at about the 40-yard line on the near side here. Well, while they take a look at Diamond Andrew there, we want to let you know, folks, that there is so much to watch on your community access station. Check out quality FATV programs like Barbara and You, Inside Fitchburg, Chess Chat, Forks Over Fitchburg, and Discussing Fitchburg Now. FATV also covers many local events, including the Memorial Day ceremony, graduations, local high school and collegiate sports, including the kickoff trifecta here on FATV, this being the 3rd game of that. You can watch local government meetings and some of the best local election coverage around. Visit FATV.org for schedules, access video on demand on your time, and view our live streams. And we also want to make mention, if you want, you can follow FATV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And as I always do, I will attach my own personal plug to there. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/the_gook. Dan, we got to get you something to plug. What can you plug?
At some point, I'm going to get a Twitter up and running.
Okay. At some point, I'm going to get a Twitter up. You realize it is 2021.
Yep.
Twitter has been a thing for 12 years now.
I've been considering making one for 11.
Okay. Take another look at this replay here. Actually, no, we're just going to go back to live action here. Diamond Andrew being helped off the field. Good to see him going off almost entirely under his own power. We hope he's all right. We'll keep an eye on him. See if he gets back into this one. Turn our attention back to the field here. It will be 3rd down and 3 for the Spartans.
3rd and 2.
They need to get to about the 36-yard line to move the chains. Probably 4-down territory, I would say, Dan.
We've seen how Castleton looks like they've been a bit aggressive, especially in how they didn't want to take a kneel down and go to half.
Speaking of aggression, they go for the touchdown here, and they get it. Touchdown, Spartans. Anthony Martinez got a step. Jacob McCarthy delivered the pass perfectly. Dan, you were saying that Castleton like to be aggressive. 3rd down and 2, it's 4-down territory. You know you're going for it on 4th down. Why not go for the end zone? A beautiful play call, beautifully executed, and now a 4-score lead for the Spartans.
They've got their big rivalry next week against Norwich. The Maple Sap Bucket is up for grabs, and they want to put a high number on Fitchburg and show what they can do.
Extra point is up and true for the 4th time today. And just about halfway through the 3rd quarter of action, Castleton has extended their lead 28-0 over the homestanding Falcons.
I guess while we have a moment, we can look at the schedule coming ahead. Castleton has 2 more non-conference games. We mentioned Norwich next week, that battle between Vermont sides. And then on the 25th, Castleton will be going out to Canton, New York to take on St. Lawrence before they start their conference play on October the 2nd against SUNY Maritime. For Fitchburg, it's going to be right into conference play starting next week with the only team they beat in conference play in 2019, Worcester State.
After that, Saturday the 25th, they are at Mass Maritime before coming back on Saturday, October 2nd. I believe that is homecoming? Saturday, October the 2nd, it'll be Bridgewater State. That is our next Falcon coverage here on FATV.
Next time we'll have football coverage for you will be on the 17th. It will be Fitchburg High playing host to the Mountaineers of Wachusett.
A very tough task for Fitchburg High School as Wachusett comes to town. But you know the Fitchburg High team that we saw play Leominster, they're a pretty good team.
They are. Wachusett ended up losing to Franklin last night. It was. Feels like so long ago last night was.
Palizé takes the kick at about the 4-yard line. Cuts back up the middle, but he's brought down at the 20. Dan, you mentioned how this has been, it feels like forever last night. This week has felt very strange for me. I've had like 3 days in a row that felt like different days. Tuesday felt like Monday because of the holiday. Then, Wednesday felt like both Tuesday and Thursday because Thursday was the last day of my work week. I have thought today is Sunday roughly 25 times. I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and get ready for work. I just know it. I don't have work tomorrow, but I just know that I'm going to get ready for work tomorrow.
And yet I've got stuff to do tomorrow as well. I'm going to be on the radio again. Actually, that would have been something to plug. I missed my timing.
First out handoff goes to Frank Sims running to the left side. Ball is on the ground, fallen on by Fitchburg State.
Haskins jumping on the fumble there. It's the second time today Frank Sims has lost a handle on the football. He hadn't gained very much anyway because, again, how many times can we say Castleton's D-line is really good?
Castleton's D-line is, in fact, really good. Now, Dan, I don't want to let you off the hook here entirely. You are a man who works for a television station.
Yep.
Who also works for a radio station.
Yep.
Who is on that radio station regularly.
Yes.
And you thought of nothing when I asked you what you had to plug. Give me the call sign of the radio station you work for that everybody already knows.
WPKZ.
AM 1280.
And
105.3 FM. WPKZ Fitchburg, your home for local sports.
Yep. Fitchburg, Leominster, your home for local live sports. Is that?
There you go. Yep. It's a timeout called by the Raiders.
Swear jar.
I said Raiders. Timeout called by the Falcons. It's your fault for reminding me that there's a Fitchburg Red Raider game coming up.
Who would have thought?
It's fine. I almost had a call to action for the radio station you work for, and then I remembered that they're a dirty routes and for-profit enterprise, and we can't have that.
And I was stumbling because I still don't know what justifies a call to action and what doesn't. So I was like, he knows.
If you're telling someone to do something, I suppose telling people to follow me on Twitch is technically a call to action for a definite for-profit enterprise. So maybe we shouldn't be discussing the finer points of the ethics of public access television while we're live on public access television.
This is what type of television we get in a 28-0 game.
Oh, like we wouldn't be having this conversation if it was 28-27. Come on. We are, if nothing, irreverent, always.
And we're also third game in 3 days.
That's also true.
Second and 14.
Second down and 14 now for the Falcons at their own 16. Haskins throws to the left. That pass is incomplete. Intended, it appeared, for a man on the sideline wearing white and no helmet, so he is also not an eligible receiver.
It was the punter, Mike Morgan, who nearly hauled that one in, and he was a little annoyed with himself that he couldn't make that catch.
It was a little short for him. He needed to come back to that ball. Granted, he wasn't running a route and he was on the sideline. It would have been difficult for him to know to come back to the ball, but he needed to come back to that ball.
How many opportunities do you think he's had to catch a ball in the last 4 years?
One, we just saw it. That's the only one. Now third down and 14 here for Fitchburg State. Haskins looking to his right this time. Sometime, but now under pressure. His pass is complete. Back across the original line of scrimmage, no further than that. Excuse me, Elijah McKnight the catch. It's a gain of about 5, but he needed 14.
Jason Gilsinger.
So some positive offense there for Fitchburg, but not nearly enough. They will kick it away once again.
They got back to the original line of scrimmage on this drive.
And even that was a bit of an adventure.
I had lost track of the coverage that I was surprised. It's like, why is he putting up the fist for fourth down when he's right there at the mark? Oh, that's the original one. That's not the other one.
Haskins' kick is away. Bounces at about the 46 and rolls into Castleton territory before being down to there. The Spartans have had pretty good field position a number of times. Haskins has a decent leg. I wouldn't classify it as a great leg, but it's, you know, it's decent enough. They're certainly not the most elegant punts you've ever seen.
Just going with the rugby-style rollout kick, it feels like it's more out of necessity than anything, that they feel like he's got the most reliable leg that they can trust. They do have 2 players on the roster listed as kickers. Linnea DeKeel, who is a senior, and she played last year, was 7 for 8 on extra points. And of course, Brian Pierre as well in as a freshman.
Now for Castleton, their first down pass to the far side is complete. McCarthy finds his receiver. That's Alexander Blakelock, excuse me. Stepping over your toes there, Dan.
At that point, I was just trying to time it so it seemed like a Jinx-style repetitiveness or stereo.
First time we've called Blakelock's name today, I believe. He's a senior from Woodstock, Vermont, the slightly less famous Woodstock. Home of Woodstock 2099. That's on the schedule.
The goal is to live to it.
I will be 112 in 2099. I don't know if I want to live to that. We'll see. Second down, McCarthy goes play action, comes back across the near side, passes behind his receiver, but still complete. Runs over his own man before being tackled by a couple of Falcons.
Wyatt Jackson with a one-handed catch for Castleton to move the chains.
It's a really impressive catch by Jackson. Credit to Caleb Graves for Castleton, one of the leading tacklers there. Jackson ran wide into him. So the Spartans are on the march again. 1st and 10 now at the Falcon 32. They lead this one by 4 scores and looking to put away any doubt. Handoff up the middle on first down. Bouncing off of another tackle, spins across out of a third. Finally brought down after a gain of about 5 is Devin Walner.
Rusty Jones applying the hit for Fitchburg. Gain of about 5. 2nd and 5 from the Fitchburg 26.
Wallner's looked like one of those solid running backs there for Castleton as well. As we mentioned, junior running back from Keyport, New Jersey. As we said, 5'3", 226. It's a very unique size, I think, out there. And get really low to the ground. Have fun trying to knock the ball out of his hands.
Don't try that. You'll get in trouble. You will be hurt. Second down handoff goes up the middle. Gain of a couple by Wallner.
Gain of 3.
So 3 more yards for Wallner.
The guys in the truck are describing him as a mini fridge with wheels. So it's not inaccurate.
Trying to get to the end zone and bring refreshments for Castleton. That's the reward.
Yes. I mean, if they go up by a 5th score and we go into the 4th quarter, it may be time for the starters to grab some refreshments. So you're not wrong. 3rd down and 2 here for the Spartans. McCarthy wants to throw for it. To the left side, pass is complete. He's got the 1st down before being pushed out of bounds. A flag comes in late. Pass was caught by Matthew Hestford. I think the back judge is going to say that the hit came after he had stepped out of bounds. It was very close. He was stepping out of bounds as he was pushed. Maybe he had gotten all the way out. It is indeed a dead ball personal foul against the Falcons. So adding insult to injury. We'll see here on the replay. You know, right there, he's already stepped out, and then right there comes the push down. It's a little bit more ticky-tack than the big hit that led to the ejection earlier, but you know, anything that can go wrong for Fitchburg State has gone wrong for Fitchburg State.
No idea if there's maybe a little bit of anything born out of frustration there, but it's obviously been a frustrating day for Fitchburg. They've not been able to accomplish nearly as much as they did last week. Maybe with the passing game, but the running game has just had nothing.
1st and goal now for the Spartans, just inside the 10. McCarthy goes for the end zone, jump ball, catch is made. Touchdown Spartans. Sejan McIntosh. Or I suppose, John McIntosh. Sejan McIntosh with the touchdown catch makes it a 5-score lead for the Spartans.
His 2nd touchdown catch of the day for the green and white. This is turning into a magical day worth the 3-hour drive for the Spartan faithful.
2nd time today, it's just, you know, one-on-one coverage. You throw the jump ball, your guy's taller, he's going to come down with it. Extra point attempt is up and good. Noah Crossman 5 for 5. Dan, we mentioned it in the first half that this had the potential, and I think it has in fact turned into a blowout.
Yes, I'd mentioned at halftime off the air. We were joking last night about if you were betting on the football trifecta, it might actually hit. Now, after watching nearly 3/4 of play, have you ripped up your tickets yet?
Well, I said it last night, and I will say it again. If you actually bet on the kickoff trifecta, seek help. However, if you metaphorically bet on the kickoff trifecta, you're not feeling too great right now. You know, Fitchburg High delivered, St. Bernard's delivered, Fitchburg State may not be living up to their end of the bargain. But it is early days. 1st home game of the season. Coach in his 2nd year playing his 2nd game.
This was going to always be the most challenging of the 3 in the trifecta for the hosts of Fitchburg, I should say, because that 1st game, Fitchburg was not the hosts.
They were not, no. That game was in Leominster. This is a low knuckleball kick, bounces off of 3 different Falcons before finally being fallen on at about the 23-yard line. And initially, that ball spun off the kicker's foot in a way I have never seen a ball spin before. It wasn't tumbling at all, it was just rotating. It was like a slider. He kicked a slider. It's very impressive.
And that took a strange bounce as well, coming back in, and Trey Lowry just trying to get on top of that one. Wonder if that was deliberate or if maybe they're just sick of kicking it to Ben Palazay.
Either possibility is valid. Falcon offense back on the field, 2:54 to play here in the third quarter of action. Haskins is passed to the near side, he's broken up, incomplete. Demir Martinez on the coverage. He comes up with the old Hakeem Olajuwon, oh no, 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 no finger.
Sophomore from Philadelphia. Stepping up, reading that coverage right, knocking that ball away from Tim O'Neill.
Brings up a second down here for Fitchburg State as they try to get their offense in some kind of gear. Haskins wants to go long on second down. He's got O'Neill, but the pass is underthrown and incomplete. Ultimately, the closest guy to it was Dawson Pearson of the Spartans. But they try to go deep and loosen up the coverage a little bit. Pass just wasn't quite there.
Fitchburg's really had trouble manufacturing anything on these drives. They're now, you know how many first downs they've had today?
4.
4.
Hey, I was right.
As many as Mike Flynn's St. Bernard's team that one year.
Well, you know.
But yeah, that's really been a challenge. Just Castleton, I think, has an excellent defense.
Now on third down, they fake the pitch. Haskins rolls to his left, and he is in a lot of trouble. Dragged down before he can reposition himself. Chris Rice, we've called his name a number of times today. This time he makes the sack. A loss of, 80, something like that.
Feels like an eternity of distance lost. And Chris Rice, we haven't said his name that many times today, but he wants to remind everybody why he was the Defensive Player of the Year in the ECFC. And now TJ Farr is going to come in to punt.
After Haskins got thrown down to the ground after that last play, it's not a bad idea to give him a breather, give someone else a chance to get in there, see what they've got for the punting game. This is a pretty good kick, a lot of leg behind it. Brockway has to back up to his own 45, and he can't get anything. He's driven down immediately. D. Jones, one of the first guys there to hit him. He was by no means the last.
So that's TJ Farr's first appearance as far as I can tell. Freshman from Princeton.
As far as I can tell.
Oh, I didn't even try to do that on purpose. He's a graduate of the high school I went to, Monty Tech, and he was an electrical tradesman.
Good for him.
Yep. And he's also, like Haskins, listed as a quarterback on the roster, but as we just saw there, he's got a pretty solid leg.
That was probably the best punt we've seen from Fitchburg State today. Castleton offense back out on the field, 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Starters still in the game here deep in the third quarter with a 5-score lead. McCarthy throws to the far side, pass is complete, finds the one-on-one coverage, ducks out of one tackle and is pushed out of bounds. A good catch and run there. Henry Robertson, I believe, on the catch.
Freshman from Orono, Maine, home of the University of Maine.
Ricardo Achimo with the force out for Fitchburg, first down yardage on
and I think, part of it is they're going deeper on the depth chart on the receptions at the very least.
I was going to say, that's the first time we've called his name. Whenever you see a freshman pop up late in the game, it's likely that he's not a starter.
He's the 11th different Spartan to come up with a catch today.
Great job by McCarthy, spreading it out, finding multiple targets. Now on first down, handoff goes up the middle. This is Matthew Hestford again. He gets a couple. Looked like he kind of blew a tire there, but he was able to recover and pick up maybe 3 yards.
And the Fitchburg tackle, 2nd and 7.
So right there, pretty much as he took the handoff, Hestford lost his footing, but he was able to recover, picked up a good positive gain. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Spartans as they try to put one more ball in the end zone, maybe even before the end of this third quarter. Dan, do you want to call a visiting team touchdown today? I know you've already called a couple. So. Give me one more, why not? Handoff for Hestford again. He's across the 35, and he's thrown down with authority at about the 33, so it'll be a gain of 4. And I think that'll be the final play of the third quarter here.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just going to say Castleton is in no rush to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they'll let the last few moments of this period play out. You were saying?
3rd and 2.
So just looking at the stats through 3 quarters of play, as we can do now, 345 yards total, now 351. The live stats update just as you start saying it.
Of course.
And that's offense for Castleton, for Fitchburg. It's, oh my goodness. So remember when I said it was better than that UMass Dartmouth game because it was 95?
They've gone backwards so much that it's now worse than that UMass Dartmouth game?
Yep, it's 77 now.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's a 3rd quarter to forget for the Falcons. And so they're at 109 rushing yards is Castleton. Fitchburg, on the other hand, has minus
Negative
21.
10, minus 21, okay.
That's negative blackjack. You have to pay the dealer 3-2.
That's not good.
No, it's not. And I would like to point out, because Chance Fee got that, the very first play from scrimmage in this contest, it went south from there for the Falcons. Chance Fee picking up that fumble and running it 23 yards. Hilariously, he's in the books as no carries for 23 yards. That's infinite efficiency.
That's very good. Chance Fee has figured out, he has found the eternal football equation. What's the word I'm looking for? Infinite energy.
So that is actually officially considered the longest rush of the day for Castleton too. That's not at all by design in any way, shape, or form. Pittsburgh's leading rusher is Frank Sims, 9 carries for 8 yards. Haskins has 7 carries for -6. There's a sack or 2 mixed in there. Elijah Zaire McKnight has 3 for -11 because he's just had trouble getting out of the backfield because, again, this Castleton D-line is so good, up by 5 scores, trying to make a statement for everyone in the ECFC that they are here. And look at Lucas Morse go for a touchdown!
There is a flag in the backfield. I suspect this one may come back.
There is a flag on the play.
Wouldn't be the first time today I called a touchdown that got called back.
Saw one very hopeful Castleton fan just crawl out. It's on the defense. I don't believe it is, sir.
The hold against Castleton will take that touchdown off the board
Holding indicated against Castleton.
and keep it at 35-0.
For the moment.
But of course, if you're a Spartans fan, 3-game winning streak coming back from 2019. When it comes to scoring, you just can't get enough.
3rd and 12 from the
I believe
Pittsburgh
Depeche Mode made a
43.
song about that.
If you really can't get enough when you're talking about scoring, that's called sex addiction. It's a very serious thing.
So 3rd and 12 to go for Castleton. As they'll go with the handoff to Morse, try to duplicate what he just did. As he fights for yardage up the middle.
Morse to go up there.
He'll get to just inside the 35-yard line. It's not going to be enough for a first down.
Of course, being at the 35-yard line, I would think you probably want to go for it here.
Tackle for Fitchburg.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Even if you're
line up
trying
and-
to be nice, it's like, it seems a bit much to punt from the 35.
I think it's the old, 4th down, we're going to line up in a simple formation and hand it off up the middle, kind of go for it.
Not going to pull out a trick play or anything.
No, I would think not. Maybe, it's a good time to practice it, but
And so it is a handoff indeed. And Morse gets wrapped up. Jamie Ruiz, the first to arrive. Luke Noyes and a bunch of other Falcons.
Castleton will turn it over on down.
I remember there was a Patriots game several years ago, back when the Patriots were, good. When the Patriots, I want to say it was the Bengals, but don't hold me to that. The Patriots were in a similar situation very late in the game, up by a great many scores, facing 4th and 3 or 4 at about the 30-yard line, and they went for it with just a handoff up the middle. And then after the game, Coach Belichick was asked, why did you go for it in that situation, Coach? And he basically said, what do you want me to do, kick a field goal? We're on the 30-yard line. You want me to punt? A situation like that, You know, I don't think there's anything Castleton could do that would be totally sporting. So go for it with the handoff up the middle. Makes the most sense.
Haskins on first down, rolls to the right side, throws it low and incomplete for O'Neal. Would he have even gotten that much in terms of yardage? Had he caught it?
No.
Timothy O'Neal.
I'm sorry, was that a rhetorical question?
It's not one of the worst no catches that you'll see. I mean, trying to read off Fitchburg State stats in this contest feels like I'm dumping on them.
It sounds mean at a certain point.
But it's been a challenge for the offense today. It'll be 2nd and 10. Throw right side, that's going to be caught by Aguirre. And it'll be taken down there by his counterpart wearing 23 there in Demir Martinez.
Some food for the conspiracy theorists then. Who made that reception? Number 23. Who made the tackle? Number 23. How many points does Fitchburg State need to get within 12 in this game? 23.
Is Michael Jordan here?
It's all connected.
3rd down. Haskins right side, and it goes through the hands and incomplete. O'Neal had his hands on the ball, but it just slips right through. And it'll be another 3 and out. So now the question is, TJ Farr had a really good punt last time out. Now we ask, can he do it again?
There's only one way to find out.
Thomas Farr to find a way.
Number 10 in the green and gold for the Falcons.
And Castleton will call timeout. They didn't have the best personnel out there on the field.
I think they forgot that the last time that Farr was out there, he actually booted it.
Rather significant distance.
Jared Brockway had to scramble back 10 yards. Was not expecting it at all. The element of surprise. Let's do another scoreboard update, assuming that my internet wants to work for them. Actually, let's go to Tim Foley down on the field.
Let's check in with Tim Foley. Here we go, Tim.
All right, thanks, guys. Obviously, it's been 2 years since we've had action here at Elliott Field, and this team's returning a lot of players who have not played college football before, but for some of the returners, I had a chance to talk to some of them. It's actually really nice to be back here at Elliott Field. The game day environment here with the fans that all come out every week to come and support them is great. So I know a lot of the returners here happy to have football back here in Fitchburg this season. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much for that, Tim. And obviously, Danielle, you and I can get caught up, and it's easy to get caught up in the scoreboard. It's not great right now, but for these guys, it's just so good for them to get back in front of these fans here at Elliott Field.
Farr runs with it for a brief moment as if to maybe throw it, and then he kicks it downfield, taken in at the 20 by Brockway, and immediately wrapped up. And a reminder that Farr is listed as a quarterback. He played that position at Monty Tech, so he has just as much of a capability of faking and throwing the ball in that situation as Haskins does.
It's something we're going to see from the Falcons at some point this season. Probably not today, down 35-0, but you know, it's in the playbook. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it at one point or another. But again, you know, getting back to the point Tim Foley was making, and I won't harp on it much more than this, it's just so nice to be back. It feels so good. If any of you out there, by the way, haven't gotten your vaccine, and you can get your vaccine, get your vaccine. You're missing this stuff. You're making this stuff less likely by not getting your vaccine. Get your freaking vaccine.
On first down, Davis wrapped up immediately at the line of scrimmage. Nothing gained on that one. All in agreement on that. Try to sneak in a scoreboard around this. St. John Fisher beating Framingham State 38-7. UMass Dartmouth over Dean 48-29. Corsairs are 2-0. Union 14th in the nation, trashing Worcester State 62-13. That's Fitchburg's next opponent. Husson sneaks out a win over Plymouth State 10-7. The University of New England comes back and wins in overtime over Bridgewater State 23-20. Albright in Western Connecticut playing as we speak down in Danbury, Connecticut. Now on 2nd and 10 it'll be Davis Jr. again getting the handoff, trying to bounce off the middle. Logan Perez wants nothing to do with that. He'll knock him right down to the ground.
A little surprised, Dan, that we see Jacob McCarthy still in the game here for Castleton. Obviously, you would expect that the Spartans aren't going to go to the air that often, but they do have another quarterback available to them. They've already seen McCarthy have to go to the sidelines once today.
Castleton was picked to come 5th out of 7 teams in the ECFC, ahead of Gallaudet and Keystone, the latter of which playing their first varsity season. Keystone lost 28-7 to Misericordia today. And the run up the middle on 3rd down. This is, I think, right now, Castleton's way of trying to show mercy, but that's one heck of a rugby maul there.
Simon Davis Jr. just ran into an entire pile of Falcons and didn't want to go down. Couldn't get any further forward. It's a gain of 6. He needed 11. And I think this time 4th and 5 at their own 25. Castleton will just kick it away.
So we'll see Mike Morgan out there for the first time since he nearly caught that pass on the sideline. A couple other scores. Alfred State, this is the ECFC, losing to Rochester 28-27. Nichols edging out Anna Maria 27-23 as well today. And so now we see Morgan with the punt. Elijah Zaire McKnight is going to let that bounce and roll. And it'll actually be picked up by one of the other Falcons instead. That's Wyatt Jackson running with it. He's got a great return going there. Finally gets caught up there at the 35-yard line.
Wyatt Jackson came out of nowhere after McKnight had already decided to leave that ball for dead. I think that's a play where his coaches on the sideline are going to take Jackson aside and say, look, it worked, but I want you to understand the risk you just took. It worked. I'm not denying that it worked, but just be careful when you do that. Not saying don't do that, saying be careful when you do that, because that worked, but it could have been a disaster. But at the same time, it worked.
There's a reference I could make to what could arguably be called another sport that I could find a parallel to. Let's see how this play goes first. So it's thrown downfield and incomplete. Strong coverage there by Martinez, Zaire McKnight. Elijah there for the Falcons, not able to get that.
I demand this reference. Tell me the reference.
All right, so in the Halo series, there's a game type that feels sport-like called Griffball.
Okay.
I'm very good at it.
Okay.
All right, and one of the strategies, you try to take a ball and bring it to the opponent's scoring area, and you try to score goals that way, all right?
Fair enough.
And one of the challenges is trying to go by yourself carrying the ball when there's 3 or 4 defenders back there for the other side, and you're trying to beat all of them before they can take you out.
Seems unlikely.
If you make, I call those 1 in 9s.
I see.
Because you have a 1 in 9 chance of making anything work with that. Gabe Mangrum makes the catch for the Falcons. And it's always so frustrating when you have a random player on your team who thinks they're Superman and can barge right in there and score, or they think there's like a 10-second shot clock in when you try to score. It's like, I'm getting off topic here, but there are parallels. Haskins, right side, Rock in pursuit. Can't take him down. Haskins going to try to go for the marker. Going to get pretty close there.
Good work by Haskins, extending his arms as he got to the sideline. Just try to get the nose of the ball across the first down marker before he gets out of bounds. And they will move the chains, so that's good for a Fitchburg first down.
Haskins just keeping that play going and realizes at this point he's got to try to get to the marker. He gets there, moves the chains. It's just the 5th first down today for the Falcons. 23 yards from goal. And they're pretty close to field goal range as well. We know Kimball can hit from 38. He did it last week. And now Haskins looking forward. I think he wants the end zone. He nearly had Gabe Mangrum.
Mangrum went up for that pass, but he was being double covered. Couldn't hang on to it as he came down. Haskins went for the end zone there, came up a little bit short. We'll take another look at it. You see right there a beautiful shot from the end zone camera. Fantastic work by the FATV crew today. That's Todd down there running the left side end zone camera.
It'll make it 2nd down and 10. Again, 23 yards from goal. Haskins looking to throw. Going back to the end zone again. He wants McKnight. He's come up with it, but he is not in bounds.
They tried the pump and go that time, and it worked. McKnight got a step on his defender, but the pass was a little bit too long for the field they had with which to work. That was very close, Dan. I know he didn't get 2 feet down. I thought he might have gotten 1 foot down.
And that's all you need in college.
You just need the 1 foot.
And they are actually going to stop at this moment as there is 9:10 on the clock. Just 1 second away from 9:11, and so we will take a moment.
Haskins is actually being being tended to here on the near side.
So that may be more the cause for our stoppage, but it was...
We'll take a look at it.
Felt like it was nearly something there, but in any case, look at it again. You see just hit as he throws.
Haskins will get up favoring his left side.
What threw me was the fact that he was on his knee the whole time as well, so made me think for a moment it was an impromptu tribute.
I would hope it was just the injury thing, but we'll see. Regardless, it'll be 3rd down and 10 for Fitchburg State. I'm sorry, Dan, I didn't mean to step on you there.
It's like turned into 1 and we made it work. It's like just how the crowd went silent for a moment.
3rd and 10.
So 3rd down, 10 to go. Logan Wilson in at quarterback now. And that ball is popped high in the air, and that's going to be taken away by Castleton. It was a handoff to Sims. The ball just popped right up, and it'll be Jordan Wright who comes away with it.
How many times, Dan, do you see a fumble go straight up? For a moment, I had flashbacks. I thought we were in the gym. I thought we were playing basketball. It's the opening tip-off. The ball just goes straight up in the air, and it's a jump ball for it. Castleton comes down. Fitchburg State loses another scoring chance. They haven't had too many, but the ones they've had, they've failed to capitalize on.
1st and 10 from their own 24.
They could have had points in this game. The way this is going, they probably won't have too many more chances. But the Falcons take a timeout, try to collect themselves as their defense finds themselves back out on the field once again, this time trailing by 5 scores.
How much more vamping material have I got here?
That's a good question. I've already plugged my Twitch. We've already plugged the fact that you will, at some point in the fullness of time, create a Twitter. We've already talked about the next time these teams play. We've already talked about the next game that you will see here on FATV. I suppose we can thank our crew. Why don't we thank our crew? We have our excellent director, Nathan Glenny, doing a wonderful job as always. Travis Falk, technical supervisor, graphics operator, audio engineer, general video god. Who else do we have? Who's running cameras? We got Robin Como.
We have Robin out there. We have Todd Govin. Kevin Newey is here as well. Jared Roberts.
Tim Foley as well. Tim Foley has been all over the place for us. We thank Tim so much for his contributions. We'll hear more from him over the course of the season.
Devin Walner on 1st down. Try to blast right up the middle.
Simon Davis.
Gained 2 yards on that one.
You know, Dan, I've been trying to think all day of the best Sammy Davis Jr. reference I can make, and I'm realizing that the only piece of media I actually know Sammy Davis Jr. from is that one episode of Happy Days, not even Happy Days, All in the Family he was on. It was a good episode. He kissed Archie Bunker. You did not grow up watching All in the Family reruns on Nick at Night, as I did you?
I did not.
Oh, well, your loss. You know they have Friends on Nick at Night now? It's very sad. We're old.
Yep. Time continues to march on.
It's not fair. I'm going to file a petition to make them stop it.
On second down, it's Wallner left side, found some room to run, and he gets to 1 yard short of the marker.
In general, not in this game. In this game, I am in favor of the passage of time.
Gain of about 8.
So we tick under 8 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Feels like it's been a long fourth quarter, hasn't it?
Yes, it does. Of course, it's the 12th quarter of football we've called in the last 3 days. So, you know. Plus, this is the game that has 15-minute quarters. The other two had 12.
So third down, 1 to go. One receiver on each side, although you expect another run as the handoff there goes to Wallner. Another first down, and you have to be the one to throw to Tim.
I do indeed have to be the one to throw to Tim because I have the walkie-talkie that Tim can hear. So let's go down to the sidelines and hear from Tim Foley once again. What do you have for us, Tim?
I was looking down the sideline and saw they were working on Haskins' left leg. He was stretching it out a bit after going down just a few plays before, but along the sideline, there were a couple thumbs up given along the way. Haskins was walking around, looked like good mobility, so we'll have to see if he comes out for the next drive for the Falcons. John, Dan?
Thank you so much for that, Tim. Good news to hear that it doesn't look like a terribly painful or a terribly deleterious injury to Haskins.
First down gained by the Spartans. And it'll be Wallner again on the left side. Also of note is that Evan Smith is back into the contest for the Spartans. We saw him briefly after McCarthy had to come out for the rest of a series, but now Smith back in the game, and that's probably more of a trying to get him some work as a second stringer and the like.
I would think. And Joe Haskins is, he's back on the bench on the right-hand side here. I'm taking a look at him now. He looks fine. He looks like a football player. He's got his helmet off, but it's, it's there for him. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back out on the field given the score of this one, but I think if it was a tighter game, he would definitely be back in there.
2nd and 9 it will be, as this is a direct snap to number 4 for Castleton, whose number is going to correspond to Caleb Condon, as he's the junior quarterback who's come into the game all of a sudden while I wasn't looking.
Hey, they like to keep you on your toes.
That name just not immediately coming to my recall, and Condon wasn't able to do
I'm sorry, are you
much
telling
with
me
it.
that the Fitchburg State alumnus doesn't know about the Condon Performing Arts Building? That's almost the same thing, right?
Almost. Do you think any Castleton fans would have known about that?
No, we're surrounded by people who don't get that joke. But, I'm talking to people who presumably do, and that's what matters.
Castleton 3rd and 16.
So now 3rd and 16. Play clock down to 5 seconds, and sounds like this is prime opportunity for a timeout or delay game.
Probably. Hey, what would you know? Timeout Castleton. Spartans take as much time as they can. They were a little discombobulated, one would say. And, for a team that's in this position, Dan, up by 5 scores late in the game, you can call it garbage time, but it really is a valuable learning experience for these younger guys, particularly at an educational level, whether it's high school or college. Your backup players almost always are your freshmen, your sophomores, who are going to be the starters in a year or two. And the more chances you can get them to get used to the play calling, to get used to the rhythm of the game, the way you run your offense, obviously it doesn't matter in the course of this game, but you want to see, if you're Castleton, if you're head coach Tony Volpone, you want to see these backups, see how they can run the offense, see how comfortable they are, see where they might be coming up deficient. So, you see a situation like this where you run up against the play clock, you have to take a timeout to avoid a delay of game penalty. That tells you as a head coach, hey, the backups don't really know what to do after a busted play. That's something to work on in practice.
And as you have a look at the crowd here, it's been a pretty good crowd coming out here today. Even late in this contest, the Falcon faithful still sticking around watching their team. They haven't had a chance to see this team play since November of 2019. And so in this case, Wallner going to just try to be the center of them all, but he'll get a few yards on that, but only to the original stick.
And really, Dan, that obviously it would have been nice for a Fitchburg State fan if the Falcons won this game. It would have been great. It would have been amazing. It's what you want. But, this being the first game back here at Elliott Field, in addition to being, September 11th, and we don't have to harp on that, it's good to be back to something that feels kind of normal, There will be time in the future to complain about the fact that the team got blown out 35-0 by Castleton of all teams. This is not that day.
McKnight will take the fair catch. At around the 30-yard line.
I talk a lot about us trying to be impartial, and I think we do a fairly good job of that. But, I find myself saying it at least once a game this weekend. We're from Fitchburg. This is Fitchburg Access Television. It's Fitchburg State University. You and I are both graduates of Fitchburg State University. We want the Falcons to win football games. We want the Falcons to be good. And if the Falcons continue to not win football games and not be good, that will be frustrating. And there have been times at the end of blowout losses like this where you and I have been very critical and very angry. And honestly, I just don't feel that. I'm just so happy to be back.
Indeed, we have a brand new head coach in Scott Sperone who this is the second game he's had a chance to coach this team. Needs some time to get in and acclimate.
Absolutely. The first season was always going to be rough, and we knew that. We knew that at the end of the 2019 season, when we knew there was going to be a new head coach and there was going to be a period of adjustment. We just didn't expect to take essentially 2 years off on account of the darn plague. So it's going to be a rough year, but it's going to be good because we're going to be back.
Haskins on second down, gets the pass complete to Palizé on the right flank. But just not able to get into open space and only a couple of yards gained.
Speaking of back, it is good to point out that Haskins is back on the field. Doesn't look to be moving 100%. He does seem like he's favoring his left leg. But, he's favoring his left leg in the way, I favor my back when I walk. He's fine.
Just looking at the scoreboard in terms of all of D3. Number 11, Wisconsin Oshkosh, there's a bad snap there that Haskins will just have to eat. Number 11, Wisconsin Oshkosh decided to play a Division II school today in Northern Michigan.
I'm guessing that didn't go well for them.
Didn't go well for Northern Michigan. They lost 28-10.
Hey, how about that? Go Oshkosh.
Division III upset over a Division II.
Cool.
Yep. And also, I was thinking, it's like, could it be worse? Could there be a bigger score disparity? Than I remembered that next week's opponent for Fitchburg State is going to be coming to this game with such a larger disparity, which is the fact they lost to Union by 49 points.
That's a problem.
But Union's number 14 in the nation, and that's not terribly a surprise.
The Falcons, amazingly, do not have Union on their schedule. Probably for the best.
And so this is Farr with the kick here, and that was an interesting kick out off the leg there. It just didn't want to move in the air at all.
No, it's, these rugby-style punts, sometimes they come off a little bit weird. I've compared them to knuckleballs in the past, and the thing with the knuckleball in baseball, it just doesn't spin. And sometimes that means it, it floats up there and gets hit a mile. Sometimes that means it ducks all over the place.
And that's exactly what that ball looked like in the air. It just, I did not see it rotate or anything.
No.
So 2:40 to go in this contest. Castleton 35, Fitchburg 0. Evan Smith will take the snap for the Spartans. Hand off to a new back here, as Dom Savage will make the tackle for the Falcons.
Stephen Harlow, the ball carrier for the Spartans.
He's a senior from Heinsberg, Vermont.
Stephen Harlow, the ball carrier. No gain on the play.
Spartans getting deep into their roster here.
Dominic Savage.
Not much of a surprise. We mentioned they returned 78 players from 2 years ago. And that's not even all the guys they have on their team, so.
They have just a shade over 100 players on this roster. A couple of duplicate numbers they've had to whip out.
A couple of duplicate numbers they've chosen to whip out for no good reason. There's that too.
Now another carry by the same running back there in Harlow.
Harlow.
Get him a couple of yards this time.
So Dan, what are you going to do with your life now that you're not calling football every single day?
Put it this way, this is actually the 5th straight day I've had a live production of some sort, because as a production assistant, I have to cover government meetings.
Fantastic.
So
what are you doing tomorrow?
I've got to go do radio.
So you're gonna be on the radio again.
Yep, it's going to be the 6th straight day
I'm
of
doing my friend's podcast tomorrow. We just talk forever, don't we?
Just people want us to talk. I get paid to talk and press some buttons and make magic happen on the radio. And Harlow on 3rd down immediately wrapped up. So the Falcons will be able to get the ball back if they want it.
I mean, they'll have the ball back with enough time to take a knee and send everybody home, I think.
Or if they want to do anything with it, there is a 14-second difference between the game clock and the play clock.
I wonder if Castleton is familiar with the old, snap the ball to your punter, every offensive lineman commits the most fragrant holding imaginable, and the punter runs around for 14 seconds to run out the rest of the clock play. That's a good play to have in your playbook. I'd like to see them bust it out here. I think what we're going to get instead is the run the play clock down to 0.1 and then call timeout play.
Castleton has decided they don't want to go home with any of the timeouts they were given for the second half.
You can't keep them. Spend them or, you
Use
can't
them or
take
lose
them with you. They don't let them on the bus.
So
Timeouts don't travel well. They actually weigh a lot is the thing. So, every timeout you bring onto your bus is another 500-pound weight. It costs the bus company so much in gas,
The thought in my head is like, and if you're Bishop Sycamore, you just get around that by not paying them.
Hey,
But
we could spend a lot of time talking about the Bishop Sycamores of the world. We already made one dirty, rotten for-profit enterprises joke today.
Yeah. I want to make a little joke, too. We were talking with Tim Foley, who last night he was actually out in Springfield covering a game between Springfield Central and Central Catholic. That's 2 powerhouse Division I teams in Massachusetts. Springfield Central has IMG Academy, the team that played Bishop Sycamore on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a few shades of connection there.
I see.
Easy McKnight set deep for the Falcons.
Dr. Robert Hines has fallen in love with Easy McKnight's nickname. I don't blame him. It's a good name.
Got some fun nicknames on this team. So McKnight will take it, try to find the far side, stay on his feet, and he's going to run around for a while, and this will be the last play of the game. Just wants to see what he can do. I like the effort.
There is a flag on the play. We will find out what it is at some point, but it is the last play of the game. The Castleton fans stand in applause, saluting their victorious Spartans.
Of course, it is a victory. We just have to see if they want to enforce it or...
There is no way they're playing another down.
They will decline it. And that's the end of the ball game. Castleton with their 2nd consecutive shutout of the 2021 campaign. They win it 35-0.
A frustrating game, especially on the football field for Fitchburg State. They got things going in fits and starts, a couple big plays, a couple times they were inside the 30, had a chance to break through, never got points on the board. But as I said before, there will be times to be very frustrated when the Falcons lose 35-0. Today is not one of those. For me, today is a day of celebration, Dan. We are back at Elliott Field. We have done a Fitchburg State game, and one day we will do a Fitchburg State win.
That day can very well come. Maybe for Fitchburg State, it might come next week. Worcester State is next up. We wouldn't have that coverage. It's a 2:30 start down from Coughlin Field. And for Castleton, excellent momentum going into the Maple Sap Bucket rivalry matchup with Norwich next week.
It's a big game for them against Norwich. And Dan, this Castleton side, this is a very good team. You can say what you will about the Falcons not being, one of the main reasons the Falcons struggled so much on offense is that they had nothing on the ground, especially up the middle. And running up the middle between the tackles is what the Falcon offense is designed to do first and foremost. Castleton just stuffed that. Once they had that broken, there was nothing Fitchburg State could do to adjust for it. This Castleton defense, these front 4 on the defensive line, is a fantastic unit.
Indeed, and just all senior leadership there with Chris Rice, Duncan Rock, Cade Gawanter, and Andrew Janier. Just a tremendous defensive line. Ultimately, when you hold a run game to averaging -1 yard a carry,
that's not good. It's good for your defense. It's not good for that offense.
So that's how that part finished. Haskins 10 of 28 through the air for 110 yards. That big pass to Jordan Dickerson nearly got them their first touchdown this season, but it'll have to wait another week. For Castleton, Jacob McCarthy 17 for 28, 242 yards and 4 touchdown passes.
That'll play.
He had a pretty happy day there. No Spartan ran for more than 40 yards, but fairly evenly distributed amongst about 7-8 different players. Of course, Chance Fee, always remember, 23 yards on no attempts.
The most efficient ball carrier in the history of football who will never actually get a carry.
Anthony Martinez, 3 catches for 85 yards. Jared Brockway, 3 for 54. Martinez had a touchdown. Evan Keegan, 2 for 13 yards and a touchdown. Sejon McIntosh had a 100% touchdown efficiency on his catches from 13 and 9. And Lucas Morris had a touchdown as well for Castleton. 5 extra points for Noah Crossman. That's all the story. And so let's take the time to thank our underwriters one more time. FATV Remote Productions, underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health, Health Alliance, Clinton Hospital, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Unitil, Minuteman Press, and North End Subaru.
Thank you so much one more time to all of them, and thank you to everybody here who watched on FATV, especially if you watched all 3 games of the kickoff trifecta. It didn't ultimately come home for you. That last one didn't play out, but still it was a fantastic week of football here on FATV. For Dan Bolek, Tim Foley, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you folks so much for being with you. We will see you again in the future right here on FATV.